Okay, so beginning this new campaign, we're gonna start off with just Dolrak. Dolrak, as you may well know, you are a dwarf under the service of the Moon Maiden Selune. She is a good god, a goddess of the moon, one of the most ancient gods in Faerun. You've been serving her faithfully since you were very young. You were orphaned at a very young age, and you were rescued and adopted by the Church of Selune, and you've spent most of your life learning how to be faithful of Selune. You've adopted the mantle of a paladin, a Silverstar of Selune. You've learned some combat. You've learned a lot of good combat skills, and you've become quite proficient. And you spent most of your years in service to Selune. You went out and rooted out the cultists of Shar. This is what you've been doing for most of your life, fighting the cultists of Shar, the evil antithesis of Selune, the goddess of Shar. You, because of how successful you have been, you have actually you've been promoted to sort of an executor, sort of like a sergeant, and you have in under your command your own squad. That is the other players. The other players being Clayton, Gone, and Tefa. The four of you have been working together, successfully rooting out the cult of Char for many, many years. You are very well acquainted with each other. You work well together under the Dolrak's command. You spend most of your time in the southern areas of Faerun. I'm going to give you a Faerun map so we know what we're talking about. Spend most of your time in the southern areas of Faerun, in around the it's sort of a country, the land of Am. And you've been there continuing your quest and rooting out the cultists of Shar, when one day you receive a message. This message is from the High Priestess of Selune, and Selune is a big big organization. Although there are some people who just have small little shrines to Selune, they worship Selune in their own way. Selune also has a big organized church as well, and the High Priestess of the church is sort of like a bishop. So the High Priestess of Selune, her name is Justine. You have received a summons by Justine to appear before her in a grand cathedral. It is called the House of the Moon. You've heard of this place. You've never actually been there. This is actually the biggest church to Selune. It is the central church or cathedral of their order, and you've been summoned there. The nature of the summons is not clear to you, but you are asked to travel to Waterdeep and be there within the end of the month. And you guys right now are kind of somewhere down south in Am. That's your cue.
Yeah, down south where?
You're in this area. Waterdeep is over here.
Okay, I found it.
It takes a couple of weeks to get there, but you can be there within a month. The summons is very urgent. It says, "I wish to I wish for you to come at once. We for an urgent meeting with a High Priestess." And this is a big deal because the High Priestess is somebody who's very high ranking in the Order of Selune.
Yeah, I want to gather my troops. Let them know that the High Priestess is asking us to come to Waterdeep, and it's very important.
Okay, so as you stand before your troops, I want you to describe your character. What does he look like?
Describe what? You cut out, I'm sorry.
I want you to describe your character.
Okay. I'm a broad-chested, bearded dwarf. I stand 4 foot, 4 foot tall, 4'8", 260 pounds. I'm 105 years old. I'm starting to get a little gray in my beard.
You probably wouldn't at 105. Dwarves live till be like
No.
600, 700. You're a young guy. You're like
I'm stressed.
yeah, you're like for in terms of dwarf age, you're sort of like somebody who just graduated high school. Yeah.
Okay. I'm broad and full of vigor, and I take every mission seriously, and I want to protect everybody around me and protect the Moon Maidens, which is her
name. Yes, the name of your god that you've sworn an oath to is Selune. She is the goddess.
Selune.
She's the goddess of the moon. All right, good, excellent. Now, and one because you did that, what I'm going to do, just as a freebie tonight, is you may have an inspiration. You know how inspiration works? Good.
I think it gives me like a redo.
Not a redo. It gives you an advantage on a roll. Advantage is not the same thing as a redo. Advantage means that when you roll twice and take the higher. You can't roll something and say, "Oh, I don't like that. I want to roll it again." That's not advantage. That's a different thing that actually is a broken. It's a broken feat. It's called lucky.
Okay, lucky.
Yeah, it's a broken feat in this game that some players take when they're like to min max and stuff. But
you need to keep track of that yourself too.
You have to declare you have to declare that I want to roll with inspiration before you make the roll. Once you make the roll, it's over. So before
my action is done.
Yes, and this is only a roll that you make, and it only applies to a 20-sided dice roll, D20 roll. You cannot use it to roll a damage or something. But you can use it to
and skill checks and that kind of stuff.
But you can use it to roll a saving throw. If even if I'm rolling it for you, you can say I want to use my inspiration, etc. So just keep that in mind. Also, I want to tell everybody this is a brand new campaign. You guys are starting off with yet another golden inspiration. Okay, you may use it at any time, including this interlude if you want to.
This golden inspiration.
Yes, that's something different. That's we'll talk about that later. But you guys
put it in your inspiration box.
If someone gets 3 inspirations, then we'll worry about it.
It's in my house rules thread. I have a lot of stuff in there. But don't worry about it for now. Nobody's going to be using that anytime soon.
You need to mark one of your inspiration.
This golden inspiration lasts until the end of our upcoming adventure. Okay. So good job, Dolrak. Now let's go with our regular players. Let's start with Clayton. Can you tell everybody who your character is? Give us a little introduction.
Clayton, he's about 6 foot tall, still in his prime he's in his prime as an elf, I would say. Pretty lean, pretty slender, I want to say. He looks very athletic. Has long, white, silvery hair in like a ponytail behind him. With big old, with basically shirtless sleeves on. I mean, sleeveless shirt. I'm trying to say, like to show off his arms. He does have a little interesting short sword on his side, but he usually has his fist wrapped up, ready to take into action when he needs to. I would say, when he heard from Clayton when he heard from Dolrak that we're going to be making our way north, he has a little bit of excitement to it. He's eager to visit another temple of Selune, for he also is quite versed with the Lady in Silver himself, the Moon Maiden. So yeah, that's the monastery he hails from, is from the Lady of Silver.
You don't get inspiration because you're not a new player. for introducing your character. Let's going down the line. Goen, can you tell us about your character?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of a grumpy dwarf, about 4'3". I've got a good 3 centuries behind me, and I don't like to take any guff from anybody. I'm kind of impatient, but I have a big heart, and I like to protect and help people. But I'm a little annoyed that we have to go all the way to Waterdeep when there's plenty of foe to fight around this area.
Okay, very good. And finally, Tafia, I'm sorry. I previously named you Sophia, but I mixed myself up. Sophia is actually going to be an NPC you guys are going to meet later, so it's the wrong name.
All right, so my character is Tafia. She is an elf. What type of elf was she? Was she a sun elf?
She is a sun elf.
Okay, she is a sun elf. She stands at 5'8". And she is 150 years old, which is young for an elf. Because elves, they don't really age past 30, and they're pretty much immortal, or they don't die of old age. Although I don't know if that applies in Forgotten Realms or not. But
700 years in Forgotten Realms.
They do die, yes, but it takes 1,000 years.
Yeah, to humans, they might as well be considered immortal, but
Once they get really old, they just kind of go off into a Vreska and just spend the rest of their lives kind of hanging out there.
Yeah, and their eyes turn white,
yeah.
Read something about that. But anyway, 5'8", 150 years old, weighs 160 pounds, which she wears full plate armor, and I'm gonna need. See what we got here. And
Gregory, are you okay with her abilities and stuff? She's has a lot of crap. So she is a war cleric.
Yep, a war cleric, and
she's also prone right now.
Yep, and then
let me remove the unconscious and prone.
She's a decorated Silverstar Selune and has faithfully served the Moon Mating along with Dolrak and the others, rooting out cultists of Shar across the southern reaches for several years. She encompasses both might and magic.
Yes, that's what I wrote.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to read that. Obviously, people read that. All right. Excellent. So the party. Now, you guys are very familiar with each other. It's not like you just first met and you've been through several battles rooting out the cultists of Shar are very tenacious. They are surreptitious. They like to hide. They like to make them like put on a front that they're something else, like a merchant group, and they carry out their hidden rituals in dank caves. So you guys have spent a lot of time just sort of like being inquisitors. You have to go shake people down to find out who the cult leader is, and before you can even infiltrate the cult. So it's been a tough time rooting out the cults of Shar, but you've been fairly successful. There's not much activity from cultists of Shar at this time because you guys have been pretty successful. And this is also why, Dolrak, you've been decorated for your success. You're well known among your peers for somebody who gets things done and well.
So again, we're going to start our trek. We're going to enter the path and start heading north.
Yes, you guys go on a well-traveled road. You guys, everybody knows very well. This is also a safe road, so you guys are not like traveling through total wilderness. You take the coastal way, and then you take a trade way, and you make yourselves up to over to Waterdeep. It's a huge city, probably the biggest city that any of you have ever been in. Maybe some of you have been into Waterdeep, maybe once or twice in the past, but certainly you've never been to this cathedral. Where is this?
Do we have a picture of the? Do we have a picture of the cathedral?
I don't have a good picture that is accurate to the cathedral. All the art that they have is from second edition. But what I do have is I
okay.
can link you to what the House of the Moon is.
I was just curious.
No, it does
at
have
the
a
get-
distinct look. Actually, that's an interesting thing to. I'll give you a link. I didn't feel it was necessary to load this into Fantasy Grounds, but you can see what
okay.
the house looks. It's a huge domed building with a kind of an onion-like roof.
Okay. We go up to the strong doors.
Oh,
Is there any guards or anything, or do we have to talk to anybody? Whoa! Hey, my player started working.
So as
You got a plan on your speakers?
It's on through my headset.
Oh, did it just get louder then?
Well, it's because it's working.
No, that's not what I mean.
so
Yeah, it was loud for a second.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
full volume.
you
'Cause
can
mine was already
just, yeah,
working.
just reset the volume if you need to. Okay, so
Yeah.
you are in Waterdeep. You are in the temple district of Waterdeep, naturally where all the temples to the gods are, and you come upon the House of the Moon. This is a very famous temple dedicated to Selune, and you being devout to Selune are honored to be in its presence. The Temple of the Moon rises like a sculpted mountain from the cobbles of the surrounding city streets. The soaring architecture and onion dome with the moon on the top evokes the power of Selune directly in front of you. And you guys happen to come at night when the moon, full moon is high up in the sky. The Selune's blessing falls upon it. And you can see that light bleeds through the glass. The temple's very active. They are even open. Obviously they're open all the time. Light is bleeding through the stained glass, falling dappled upon the stone of the cathedral, painting the floor and walls with the prismatic pools of shining color. And as you can see on the wall of the doors that are open, you can see a depiction of the Moon Maiden herself in all of her glory, gilded in silver and gold. So you guys walk up, and of course there are some. The cathedral has some guards, and they see.
Gone takes off his helmet and bows his head before he steps across the lintel of the cathedral, and says a little prayer to Selune.
The guards stand vigil, kind of observing, but they don't react because it's not their job to not react.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling honored to be there, I also bow and I raise my hands to the goddess, reaching for the moonlight out of the air so it can caress my hair and my arms and my body, and I'm absorbing the divine powers from the Moon Maiden.
So as you guys enter the cathedral, voices within the soaring stone chamber carry up to the vaulted heights. There appear to be people in the cathedral. They have singers that are constantly chanting in the cathedral. They have shifts that they come in and out. The Moon Maiden song, a song that you guys are familiar with, being devout, reverberates in a way that's both pleasant and overwhelming inside the cathedral. There's ceiling height windows of stained glass that depict major events governed by the Moon Maiden, like the time of troubles, the sundering, the original sundering, not the 5th edition, second sundering or whatever. And they depict acts of the Moon Maiden and other heroes dedicated their lives to the Moon Maiden. Alcoves occupy the space between these windows, and within each stands a towering statue of heroic figure, famous within the Church of Selune. There's rows upon rows upon rows of pews, 3 levels of pews, and they lead to a raised dais. You guys approach, walk through the pews, and right now it's fairly silent because this is not a holy day of Selune, so the area is pretty empty. And you walk through the pews up to the dais, and you meet what appears to be the High Priestess because of what she's wearing.
Do we know her name?
Her name is High Priestess Justine.
Justine.
She as you walk up, her hands are clasped in prayer to Selune, but she knows of your presence the minute you step in, and her eyes open a milky white. You know that Priestess Justine is a human, but has been given unnaturally long life due to her devotion to Selune and her faith and her will to carry out the will of Selune. She's the highest ranking member of this church, the highest official, the bishop of this church. She is a magician, a mage by training, but over the years has become more of a figurehead and a leader of the church. And as you walk forward, she puts over her hand in a kind of a gesture. That's sort of a motion for you to kiss it. And she says, "Executor Dolrak, I presume."
Yes, ma'am. And this is my group of warriors, and we're here to go on your mission and do what needs to be done.
I welcome you to the House of the Moon under the grace of Selune, and I thank you for arriving so promptly. Your reputation precedes you, Executor. I have heard much about your success in rooting out the cult of Shar. Your faith is unquestioned, your devotion powerful. Says, this is why I have called you for this special task. So she reaches into her pocket and she takes out a little scroll. And she unfurls the scroll and she says, "This is a letter I received not more than a 10 day afore I sent you for you." And she starts reading. She says, "This is a letter sent to me by one of our most important agents. His name is Reginald Haas. He is a halfling dedicated to Selune, although he is a spy. He has been sent many years ago to spy far to the east on the Zentarum." He says, "For you see, the criminal organization, the Zentarum, has been at odds with our church for decades. He has been sent to spy, to discover information, to find prisoners that are the faithful of Selune, and to recapture whatever artifacts the Zentarum have stolen from the Moon Maiden over the centuries. And there are many, many artifacts." He says, "Reginald Haas sent me this letter. It is marked with a secret code of the most urgency, and I trust his judgment, for I know the man, and he is very much to be trusted and a devout of Selune." He says, "With great urgency," he writes, "My dear High Priestess, says, I write to you from the distant shores of Westgate." He says, "I write to you with the utmost urgency, and I am afraid I cannot write exactly what I mean, for I am afraid of being discovered by agents of the Zentarum." He says, "Suffice it to say, I have discovered an agent within Zental Keep itself that has been holding a powerful weapon that belongs to the Moon Maiden. I will not mention the name of this weapon, for I fear what ears may hear this. But I will do everything I can to acquire this weapon from Zental Keep itself. Once I acquire this, I will make my way back to Waterdeep with haste. He says, however, I do implore, this is of utmost importance. If I do not make it back, that you must send someone after me. For once you understand what this weapon is, you will understand the urgency of what I write. By the glory of Selune, by the glory of Selune, please take urgency if I do not arrive within the week. Or the 10-day. There's no weeks in Faerun. And Justine says, the letter ends there and is marked with the code of the utmost urgency. Suffice it to say, Reginald never arrived. I sent agents to discover where he was and what had happened to him. The only thing that I have discovered is that there was a ship that was sailing from Zental Keep to Westgate. This ship had upon its list of crew members a RH, which I believe is Reginald Haas. This ship sank and was destroyed off the coast of Westgate. Because the ship was a fur trading ship, they did not seek to recover the contents of the ship. There's been no effort made to recover what was in the ship at once it sank. I have no word of whether Reginald Haas lives. He says, if what Reginald Haas says is true, there is a weapon of Selune that we must recover before the Zentarum do. I do not know whether the Zentarum know that Reginald Haas has acquired this weapon, but they must not find out. We dare not risk open conflict with the Zentarum. This is why I send you. You may believe that this task is somewhat beneath you, seeing that you have fought great battles in the name of Selune, but I assure you this is of that urgency. Do you understand, Executor?
I understand clearly.
You must leave at once. Time is of the essence. I have arranged now how you will retrieve the ship which is sunk beyond the coast. I have arranged for the merchants who was previously to receive the shipment. He at first does not care about it. He is not willing to pay the expenses in recovering the things inside the ship because it was a fur trade and they were likely destroyed. However, I've arranged it and paid him through several agents that cannot be traced back to us, that he is to launch an expedition mission to recover the ship with gold that I am supplying, and he will pay adventurers 2,000 gold to go out and recover the contents of the ship. This is so the Zentarum cannot know of what we are doing. It appears on the surface that this merchant who had previously owned the contents of the ship simply wishes to recover it for insurance. But in secret, it is we who are providing the money for the insurance company to pay the merchant. Do you understand?
Understand.
The merchant 3 months from now will receive a letter from the insurance company that he is owed a large amount of money. However, the only way he can collect is that he has to verify that the ship that was sunk is indeed the ship called the Whippet, which is indeed the ship that we believe Reginald was on. Once the merchant realizes this, he will put a call out probably for adventurers, for there are rumored to be dangerous creatures of the sea, and the normal crew would not dare dive under there. He will put out a call for adventurers. It should be exactly at the time of your arrival that he does so, and you will take this job, but you will not tell him what your purpose is.
Understand?
You will go to the excavation, recover the ship, and find this weapon of Selune, whatever it may be. I trust that your faith in the Moon Maiden will allow you to recognize it immediately. There can be no doubt if there is such a powerful artifact of Selune. It will be without question that you will know it when you find it. Go now, and may the Moon Maiden's light shine upon thee in your success. And she raises her hand again for you to kiss it.
You cut out. Oh.
You cut out.
She raises her hand again for you to kiss it. To kiss her ring.
And I grasp her hand and I kiss her ring.
Remember, if Reginald Hoss still lives, you will recognize him. He is a short halfling with dark hair, and he wears a ruby ring on his 5th digit of his left hand.
What color hair?
Dark hair. Dark brown hair. Gregory, your distortion again.
Oh, yeah. My dad's putting stuff in the fridge. I can mute my mic wall if you want me to.
Lady Justine, by any chance, do you know the name of the merchant we are seeking out? I don't think you told us that.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I have forgotten? His name is Dolus. Yeah, you will easily find him. He lives in the trade quarter. And once you seek the adventurer's board in a trade quarter, it should direct you to his residence.
Is he in Waterdeep, or are we meeting him in a different town?
The ship is off the coast of Westgate.
Yeah.
And it's common knowledge, so you guys know that Westgate is a long, long ways off from where you are. Westgate is in the middle of the continent, almost the other side of the continent. I will show you where it is. That's why it takes 3 months to get there. Westgate is over here. And Zenthal Keep.
Where's?
You see, are you looking at the map?
Yeah. Can I zoom out? There we go.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
It's in Cormier, or however you pronounce that.
It's not in. It's not in.
Right south of there.
Yeah, it's not ruled by Cormier. It's its own independent little city-state. It is full of corruption and criminals and pirates. That's what it's known for. And Zenthal Keep, which I'm going to circle for you, that is the seat of power of the Zentarum. And the Zentarum is sort of like a criminal organization that operates throughout Faerun. Very shady organization, known to do smuggling, trafficking, slavery, nothing's kind of out of their... whatever makes them money, that's all they really care about. They actually have a big hoard of powerful magical artifacts throughout Faerun from various sources. One of the sources is the Church of Selune. They've, over the years, acquired through nefarious ways and through common ways multiple artifacts of Selune, including the Spear of Selune, the Divine Crown of Selune. So it could be any one of these powerful objects that they've acquired. So it's the Church of Selune would absolutely be interested in getting that back. So the way that Reginald's ship sailed is he came from Zenthal Keep on his way to Westgate. and the ship has sunk somewhere offshore. So that's where you guys are going.
I think the first thing we need to do is go see the merchant here in town and get some clothes that doesn't reveal who we are, so that we look like commoners.
You don't even need to see the merchant. This stuff is provided for you by the church to help you on your mission.
Being that it is a covert mission, makes sense.
Right.
Yep.
Gotta be sneaky.
Yeah,
sneaky.
you don't need to buy. You don't need to purchase anything. You are executor of the church, so you use the church resources to acquire the things that you need to undergo this mission.
Okay.
How are we going to get there, Dolrak?
Well, I think
Sounds like a big bother to me.
Well, I think we're going to head south down the trade way.
Yes. So luckily, the way to Westgate is a well-traveled path because it's a popular trade route. It's a safe path. You're not walking through the wilderness or anything like that. There are known roads that you can take down to Westgate. One or two of you might actually have been there in the past, and you can easily commission a caravan to take you part of the way and walk some more ways. You will be able to make it there within the 3 months.
So we can get a caravan to take us down toward Dragon Spear Castle.
Yes, and then from there you can walk some ways and you can find another caravan. There's plenty of caravans, trade caravans going back and forth from your two locations. It's not a difficult to reach place. You can get a caravan that'll take you to Erebor Castle. So you guys set off on your quest that very day. You get a caravan. It takes you down to Dragonspear Castle, as you said. You reach Dragonspear Castle, and it has recently been liberated and occupied. It is occupied by agents of the Emerald Enclave. You show up, and there's a rainbow flag on top of Dragonspear Castle. You walk in, and they ask you to declare your pronouns, and you feel a little bit off of that place, so you leave. I'm just making a joke from playing Siege of Dragonspear Castle. You continue down through Borskir Bridge. You get into the region of Baldur's Gate, but not the city of Baldur's Gate itself. You make it through there. You go down skirting along the Sunset Mountains until you get into the Erebor Trail. You find another caravan in Erebor Trail that takes you over to Westgate. Uneventful trip, no problems. You get there within 3 weeks. You get to the city of Westgate, and you notice it's very different from Waterdeep. The city has a vast kind of system of slums. It's got a rich noble quarter and slums and pretty much nothing else. You walk around dressed in your commoner's outfit. You're fairly unnoticeable, but there are beggars and merchants trying to peddle their wares all over the place. You're getting harassed, and there's a big stink in the city as well, like a poor sewage system. You guys make your way over to the trade district of Westgate, which smells at least a little bit better. And there you find it appears to be there's a lot of graffiti and a lot of flyers all over the place. It's difficult to find what you're looking for the adventurers board. What you see a lot of is you see this flyer all over the place. Something talking about Kayan's special brew, some magical healing potion. You've never heard of this, but this flyer is just plastered all over the place. It appears that this healing potion is very popular in this area. But eventually,
that's hilarious.
But it's an inside joke because obviously this is a character that was in the previous campaign. But eventually you find the adventurers board. You search and you find the you find the call for hiring 2,000 gold pieces for adventurers to recover recover the contents of a sunken craft, the ship manifest of a sunken craft. He says because of the danger of this job, the equipment necessary to excavate will be provided. You take the flyer, you look at the address of the flyer, which directs you to a kind of a little flat down the street, and you go over there, and you knock on a flat, and Dolus the merchant answers. He says, "Yes, can I help you? Oh, you're a strange bunch." You see an old man kind of comes up. He's got a monocle in. You can see that he's got a balance, and he's putting little chips of gold pieces and silver pieces, counting his money and doing records.
Yeah, you're one to call us strange, Three Eyes.
He looks kind of offended by what you're saying.
I'm used to that.
What is it that you want?
We're here to take the quest on the go and recover the contents of the ship.
He's like, what? And then you see he kind of thinks for a second. He's like, oh, yes. That. Yes, I'm looking to collect the insurance money on my fur trade. He says, you do understand this is dangerous, don't you?
Danger's our middle name.
All right. There's no coverage for death, dismemberment, pain, and suffering of family members once you get eaten by the Leviathan. And you see he's kind of like just spouting off like a list of insurance terms. You take this job upon your own accord.
Yeah. We heard the same story on other
all
quests
right.
that we've done.
All right. You see here's the thing. What I need is not whatever items are in the ship. It's fur. Fur underwater will not last. There's nothing of value in that damn ship. What I need is the ship's manifest. The ship's manifest will be on the upper deck of the ship, probably in the deck castle of the ship. Now, once you get, if the manifest is intact, then I can collect this insurance money. That's what it's about. There's nothing in the ship of any value. But, however, there is a bell in the ship that might be of some value. Now, if you retrieve the bell along with the manifest, then I can clearly prove to the insurance company that it was indeed the whippet that sank. With only the manifest, I might have some problems proving to the insurance company. And unfortunately, if they don't pay me as much gold, I might have to cut into your gold. But if you complete this task, get both items for me, it's 2,000 gold. Are we in agreement? And he takes out a little contract for you to sign. And you kind of read the contract. It's 5 scrolls long. And it kind of goes into details of he will not be held legally responsible for being swallowed by leviathans, for drowning at sea. He says I will provide the provisions necessary to undergo this excavation. It's like a 5-page long scroll for you to sign.
You talk way too fast. Where did you say the manifest could be found and the bell?
Oh, the ship castle. You don't know your ships? You know how you have it.
I don't know ships.
All right. And he kind of puts his hand on. He's like, there's a ship, and then there's a front of the ship. They call that the bow. And then there's the back of the ship. They call that the aft. Well, the very top of the ship, the top part of the ship that the sails come out of, that's the main deck, right? Behind the main deck, some ships have what's called a deck castle. It's a big, tall kind of structure that's behind the ship. It's covered. That's a deck castle. That's where you're going to find that manifest.
But what about the bell?
I don't know. The bell could be anywhere in a ship. But this bell's part of the ship, and it's unique to every ship. It's a calling bell for the ship when it comes to board, and it might be a bit heavy, but I'll give you the provisions you need to bring it out. He says, if you can recover this bell and the manifest, then we can prove it was the whippet that sank, and the insurance company will pay.
So I'm a little dim-witted. Let me get this straight. If we get the bell, that counts the same as getting the manifest, but
No.
you'd rather have both.
No, we need both. If you only get the manifest, I might have some trouble with the town council proving it was this ship that sank. Somebody else could have stolen the manifest from the ship. But if I have two objects, the bell and the manifest, then I clearly prove that it was the ship that sank. I've been through this before. Many ships sink in a sea of falling stars. In the past, we would only launch a recovery expedition when there's something of value in the ship. This is a fur ship. Whatever was being shipped over here is now underwater and no good.
Now, the manifest, wouldn't it be parchment? Wouldn't it be destroyed?
Oh, most ships have a black box where they keep the manifest. And it's airtight. If the manifest was destroyed, obviously we're in trouble, and we're probably not gonna collect as much money as we can. But you can still recover the bell. That would prove that the ship sank.
Yeah,
I think I get it now.
Now, if we recovered the bell and not the manifest, what would happen?
I would still have a hard time proving that it was this ship that sank, so maybe I would not get as much money from the insurance company, and I couldn't give you as much reward money.
Is there a name placard on the ship that says Whippet?
Yeah, yes. There is a name on the side of the ship that says Whippet, but the problem is it's painted on the side of the ship, and once the ship is underwater for long enough, that it gets crusted over with barnacles. You can't even find it, and it's gone.
In the manifest anyway, if we find it, or maybe even on the bell. Didn't you say it was a unique individual bell?
Yes, the bell will prove it's from the ship. And it's a heavy bell, so I'm going to send you out with my seaman. My seaman, not the other.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna send you out with Old Will. Old Will's done many jobs for me. He's very very skilled in this. He'll show you what to do. He's got a big barge, and called the Barnacle, and you go out with his barge out to the spot where the ship sank, and I'll give you the equipment you need to excavate this. Don't worry. But you encounter some monsters and stuff. That's why your adventure. You're gonna have to slay those things. I don't know what the hell you can encounter down there. Little giant crabs and other sorts of crustaceans. The entire second edition bestiary. I don't know.
Do you like seafood though?
I like seafood.
So that's why you're here. You're gonna have to go down, dive into that ship, and find the manifest, and you're gonna have to deal with whatever critters are down there.
Well, guys, you want to sign this prenuptial agreement he has, or?
Yeah, we need to take this job. We need the money.
All right, well,
Got hungry kids at home.
Just curious, did anyone else inquired about this quest?
No, I've had it out there for 4 days. Nothing. Most of the adventures here, they avoid these kinds of quests just because.
So the contract says
some dangerous stuff.
gold?
2,000 gold.
Oh.
He kind of looks at you like you're trying to nickel and dime. Like 2,000 gold. And then, and then he says, adventurers mostly avoid these kinds of contracts just because the death rate is a bit high in the seas. They're used to fighting trolls and demons on land, but once you go underwater, rules kind of change.
I think we'll be able to handle it. I hope.
Well, sounds like we're just gonna. It's a day of fishing. Only we're fishing for a manifest and a bell.
Do any of you guys use a bow and arrow? That's not going to work underwater.
So there are underwater combat rules. A bow and arrow will work underwater. However, the range of a bow and arrow, you cannot fire it beyond your regular range.
Beyond what?
The minimum range, or
I will give you underwater combat rules right here.
Yeah, I kind of don't have a bow and arrow anyway now, but
A ranged weapon attack automatically misses beyond the weapon's normal range.
Normal range, okay.
So because you're underwater, but you still, you still have gravity, you still sink down. You can fire a ranged weapon, but you can't fire as far as you normally be able to fire. And ranged weapons have disadvantage unless you have a crossbow. Crossbow does not have disadvantage because it's a high force kind of weapon. Also, melee weapons. Melee weapons have disadvantage unless you have a what's called a swimming speed. None of your characters naturally have any swimming speed. There are some exceptions with weapons like a trident or a short sword, like deck space, some deck space weapons.
Okay.
So there's going to be some challenges, and on top of that, I am adding my own challenge. When you're underwater and you're trying to use magic, water does conduct sound. Technically, it actually conducts sound better than air. However, in order to voice your magical spells, you're going to have difficulty. So any spell that you cast underwater that requires a verbal component. Now, not all spells do. Some spells are like somatic only. But verbal spells, something like a healing word where you have to speak to cast a spell, you have a 1/10 chance of 10% chance of spell failure. That means before you cast a spell, you roll a d10. You roll a 1, your spell fails, and you wasted your spell slot. So that's the additional thing I'm adding to underwater combat.
It sounds fun.
Okay.
Now, do we have a chance of finding a trident or a spear or something that is?
If you'd like to purchase a trident or a spear or one of those things, you certainly can. You can go to one of the local shops. They are mundane items that you can purchase. I can give you a price if you want to buy one.
I probably can't afford it.
No, you can. Because Dolrak, you're the only permanent character, all the items and gold go to your character sheet. Because all the other 3 characters, they're not going to be around that long. They're just temporary characters. In addition to that, I have given you a starting gold. You have 800 gold pieces starting gold. The other characters, I know you guys have magical items. You cannot give that to Dolrak before your character leaves. This is not a video game. You can't unequip your NPCs that are leaving the party.
What materials is Dolrak giving us? Is he giving us by any chance water breathing potions?
That's expected. No. He the contract says that he will supply the materials necessary for this excavation. So you would expect a ship sunk many meters down in the water. You're going to need water breathing potions.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my question too.
Yeah, obviously, because your characters cannot stay in the water for long enough to do what you need to do. So it is natural that you're going to get water breathing potions.
So a trident can be used as a ranged weapon and or melee?
I don't remember. Is it trident?
Is it martial or?
I'm sure. Whatever it is, Dolrak can use it just because he can use any weapon.
Oh, okay.
I want to buy one.
Okay, let me bring up the store and give you a price, and then you can just subtract that gold and I'll put it in your inventory.
But it's not a magic one, right?
No, you're. Do you want to buy a magical trident? It's going to be a lot more expensive. I'm not sure you can afford it. Let me see.
Hopefully, maybe +1.
That would still be expensive. And the gold you have is going to have to be the gold you take with you on our regular journey too. So, not that you want to be cheap.
It's not that bad. It's 450 gold for a +1 trident. A regular trident will cost you 5 gold.
5 gold or 4?
Yes, that will because magical items are expensive. So it's 450 gold for a trident.
Okay.
You have all the gold, so you decide if you want to buy one. I'll happily subtract that gold and give you the trident.
And I probably maybe need to talk to Dolus and see if we can get some upfront money.
Okay.
Like 500 upfront.
Oh, I see.
So so you're trying to convince Dolus to give you a little bit of money up front. How much are you asking?
Yeah. Well, 500 gold pieces.
500 gold pieces. Dolus, you can see this guy's a really scrupulous kind of businessman. He kind of narrows his eye. 500 gold pieces. You haven't even done anything yet. He says, "What makes you think I want to give you that much money up front?"
Nobody else has tried to take this mission on, so we're here to do it.
Yeah, he kind of
insurance back or not.
He kind of looks at you, kind of squinting his eyes. I want you to roll a persuasion skill check.
Is there such thing as scrolls of swimming?
I don't think so.
I know there's like a ring of swimming, but I don't know about scrolls.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
Would that be the charisma?
It'd be under your skills.
Yes,
and it'd
remember.
Be persuasion.
Well, so yeah, that's why I went over earlier. So remember, you have the main tab and the skills tab. The skills tabs has all your specific skills. The main tab, if you want to roll just a flat charisma, there's a difference because your persuasion is much higher than rolling a flat charisma. Your persuasion,
you get bonuses and stuff.
Yes,
you get proficiency in it.
Yes. So your persuasion is +7. So when you with that skill check, I prefer the skill checks inside that dice tower, like we did before.
Okay, and then I do it from the skills tab, and I go to persuasion.
Yes.
And okay,
that little dice.
In the tower.
Yeah, pick up that little dice. Yeah, there you got it.
Okay, you rolled. It appears you rolled very, very well because Dolus kind of starts tapping his forehead. He's like, "Well, I see your point because usually after a day or two somebody takes the job, but it seems nobody wants his job. So if I don't fork over money, I'm not gonna make any money." He's like, "All right, I'll give you 500, and then 1,500 when you can recover both the bell and the manifest." And you see him. He goes to the back. He comes out with a big hefty bag of gold. He's like, "Here you go." So he fronts you 500 gold.
So, and then I decide to purchase the +1 trident for 450.
So what I'll do is I'm going to add 50 gold to your gold inventory because that's the difference. How did you get 1,300 gold?
I just added the 500.
Okay, so now subtract 450. I'm going to put in your inventory a +1 trident. There you go. I'm also going to make it equipped so you can use it right off the bat.
Okay.
Hey, Dolrak, maybe you ought to get some healing potions too.
You said it was 450?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw this flyer.
You should.
Special brew. Do you happen to have any of the special brew? What is that all about? You know anything about?
You should have 850.
850. That's what I was looking at.
I'll reset it.
I was like, I got it.
He's like, don't touch that crap. It's poison.
Like, that guy looks a little shady on that flyer anyway.
It says that's some snake oil. You can find plenty of that at the people peddling on the street. All right, I wouldn't recommend that. You're gonna be real sick and then you're gonna drown.
Oh boy. Okay.
I have 2 potions of healing. How many does everybody else have? Any?
What do I have?
Not everybody starts with potions of healing. I did start your character.
I actually do have 2 potions of healing, so I didn't notice that until just now.
Some characters have potions, some characters don't.
Would that have come with my adventurer's kit?
No.
Oh, okay, you must have put that in there then.
I think I gave your character potions of healing.
Okay.
But not everybody has them. Some of them don't. Some characters don't have the potions.
Okay.
I've got Cure Wounds spell, so get hurt.
You guys are a bunch of holy warriors. I don't think you're gonna have problems healing yourselves.
But it's still nice to have at least 1 or 2 potions there for just in case.
Right.
Right, no part of the D&D party, because the D&D party don't stop until the healer's dead and we're all out of potions.
Right.
Well, yeah, I think you guys got like 4 healers. I think everybody's a healer right now, so I don't think you're not lacking on that respect.
That's how we've been together for so long.
You
I
got
honestly thought you actually wanted us to be clerics or paladins.
no. But
so.
it's. I think it's really fun that we all are clerics. Now,
Yeah.
one thing is that you guys realize through your adventures that you usually had to hire like mercenaries to help do things like disable traps and pick locks when you needed to. You're not sure you really need something like that right now because you're just this is going to be a broken down ship underwater. You're probably not any traps in the broken down ship underwater, but you never know.
Hey, we can also smash a few doors, and I think we can handle that.
I think we're pretty much geared up. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think if we got some rope and the water breathing potions, I think we got pretty much what we need, I think. Which direction should we head for the barge, Dolus?
Well, we need to go and find Will.
Yeah. So Dolus told you, he's like, listen, tomorrow morning I sent the word out. Go over to the docks. You can't miss it. It's a big square barge with a crane on it. Go over there, and you'll meet Will. Right? He'll take you out there.
All right.
All right, come on, fellas. Let's go take a rest and sleep through the night. That way we're fresh for the adventure.
So you go over to the local inn. Just a couple of silver. I'm not gonna do that, but a couple of silver. You can, a modest inn. It's not the royal inn. You spend the night over with a couple of silver, and through the evening, you guys sleep very well. But Dolrak, you have some really bizarre dreams. Remember, I told you last game when you were just observing. We were playing through the game, and I said your character is dreaming of this. Yeah, you get some really weird dreams. You have no idea what the hell's going on in this dream. You see these 3 adventurers going through what appears to be a volcano. They are fighting some horrible fire Djinni monster. Appears that there's some sort of magic that controls their minds, and they fail in their quest. And you see that once the mind control gets in place, these 3 adventurers that went through this volcano, they all of a sudden they stop in their tracks, and it appears that they're being controlled by some dark force, and they kind of go back into the volcano. You see these 3 adventurers now that their minds are consumed and completely dominated. They take up residence inside this volcano, and they guard these 3 weapons. And you see time passes like in a zoomed fast forward fashion. You see time passing, and these three poor adventurers, they do nothing but just sit there staring as time passes. They do not age, and it's an unknown amount of time continues to pass when you wake up with a startle.
I jump up from a deep sleep, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, what was that?
You have no idea. You don't recognize these people. You don't recognize this place.
Yeah, I'm clueless.
So you look outside.
I'm trying to
Oh, sorry.
I was trying to Yeah, I was. Go ahead.
You look out your inn window. It's an overcast day with a light drizzle. It's not going to be pleasant going out in the seas. You can tell the waves are pretty violent.
So I'm go ahead and wake the guys up.
I'm already down sitting at the bar drinking ale. I told them to charge your room.
Morning drinking.
Yes. I'm a dwarf.
Instead of wake and bake, he's gonna wake and drink.
Where you guys been? I've been down here waiting for you.
I just look at Golan, and I just face palm and shake my head no.
Well, you're always that way. You're no fun. That's why I don't like elves. Except you.
Well, I think we have 2 elves.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Are you an
I was
elf?
gonna say, Clayton just punched him in the shoulder, like, hey.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was an elf.
Yeah.
I'm not too bright.
Anywho. Well, guys, I think we got everything all set.
I think we're good. Let's go down to the dock and find Willis. Will.
You go down to the dock, and almost immediately you see the ship that you're looking for. It's called the Barnacle. It's a square raft-like salvage ship with a big crane on top of it. And you walk over to it, and you can see that the old Will is already there waiting for you. He's looks to be an old mariner. He's got a long beard. He's got a parrot on his shoulder, like a stereotype kind of parrot. "Ahoy there!" he screams. You be the ones who took the contract from Dorless?
Yeah.
Aye, hop aboard. Welcome to the Barnacle.
Is this thing gonna stay afloat?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. And you can see while you stand on this barge, you can see that the barge is like shoddily constructed. It's got like beams of it's got a couple of beams of like 2x4s kind of like strung together, and you can see there's actually some seawater like seeping up from below. He puts up a sail on the Barnacle, and the sails catch the wind, and you can see that it's rocking back and forth. It's like, I would stay away from the edge of the barge. You're gonna fall in. You don't want to be sometimes the seas kind of rock it, but it always flips over on the right side. You know what I'm saying?
Hey. So, Dolrak, do you know where we're heading?
Oh, hey. Where
Will.
Old Willie.
Yeah.
Old Willie.
It's Willie.
Oh, Will. Yeah, alright. So, Will, do you know where we're going?
Aye, about 5 nautical miles down that way, and he points into this. And you guys are pretty much out at sea, so you have no idea which direction is which, unless you guys are not really sailors. Like, about 5 more nautical miles down that way. And then his parrot repeats what he says. Down that way. Ahoy, matey, down that. And the parrot kind of gets a little annoying. Just repeats everything he says. And then you guys are kind of, you guys are sitting there. I think that we're going to have to, everybody's just going to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Let's see if we get seasick.
Dylan, don't eat that parrot. Will that go in the tower?
Nope.
You don't need that in the con tower.
Double clicking on it, checking it. I wish I knew that earlier.
The DC of that saving throw was a measly 11, but Clayton unfortunately failed. Now, what I want to point out to you, Dolrak, remember, your party member just rolled a saving throw. You have an aura.
Oh,
You forgot to tell me that you have, and I was doing this to test you, but you forgot. Both you and Gon forgot to tell me you have an aura. Therefore, the benefits of your aura are lost. You momentarily forgot about Selune, and your aura has failed. Clayton, you're kind of seasick. You're feeling a bit nauseous. You like to be on land. You do not like the rocking back and forth of this poorly constructed barge. You can't get, you don't know what's up and down. It's hard for you to get your bearings. You're not feeling so good.
Yeah. I usually have a good balance, but I'm just... haven't traveled the seas that often.
That was a good reminder, but he would have failed anyway, because he would have only got 3 more. No, he would have got 4.
I'm not saying next year I would have gotten 4.
Yeah, if you was next to both of us. Sorry about that. I told you should have drank some ale this morning.
So, we don't have a nauseated condition in 5th edition. What the closest we have is intoxicated.
Like poisoned?
It works pretty much the same way.
I feel like that's
The
what
entire time is Clayton just trying to take it a little serious and like trying to hide it from you that he's not feeling well.
So who's intoxicated?
Clayton.
Clayton.
How he?
He's not. He's not. He's not.
I'm seasick.
Yeah, he's seasick, but we
Oh,
don't.
seasick.
We don't have a seasick effect in 5th
Can I
edition.
lay on hands on him to unintoxicate him?
You certainly may.
How many?
Well, I'm trying to hide that I'm intoxicated.
Yeah. It will cost as much as a remove disease. Restoration can also remove it.
Yeah, but my lay on hands is I don't have to use a spell slot for it, right?
No, lay on hands is like you have a pool, and the way I made it for your character is this is the only way that actually works. Unfortunately, the only way we can get it to work is if you look at your character sheet and you look at lay on hands, there are 40 circles for each lay on hands you use. That's the only way we can make it work because doing like 5 points and stuff doesn't just it's hard to keep track of. So what you do is you click off 5 boxes and you use lay on hands to.
And that'll unintoxicate him.
Yes, I'll accept that because I will consider it. I will accept it as a cure, remove disease.
I look at Clayton. I said, Clayton, you can't never hold your liquor, or you looks like you can't sail on a ship either. I'm going to help you out since I forgot to give you the Selune's blessing. I can tell you're sick. You can't hide it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're green, and there's slobber coming out of your mouth. So there you go. Let me lay my hands on and heal you of that intoxication. So I took off 5.
Okay.
I clicked off 5 of my lay on hands thing.
You use your lay on hands to take care of his intoxication. Now you're feeling much better, and then after another hour or so, Willie kind of takes out his little sextant to kind of navigate because the only thing you guys see around you is just wide open ocean. You're not even sure that this old guy knows what the hell he's doing. But he's like, time to drop anchor. And he takes out his anchor and, he drops the anchor. He's like, we're here, down below. This is where they say the whippet went belly up.
How deep is it over here?
Oh, I'd say maybe 80 meters, 90 meters. It's not too bad. We're still near the shore.
Okay.
And he says, I got something for you. And you see that this whole time he's had a big chest on the barge, and he kind of you can see he's remarkably muscular for a man this old, and he starts hauling over the chest like, here, this is the supplies you'll be needing, and he flips the lid of the chest open, and you guys look inside. There are 4 suits, diving suits. These diving suits don't count against your armor; they are worn beneath your armor. And these are called, he's like, these magical seal suits. They're on loan. I need them back. Okay. Don't get them ripped. So these magical seal suits, once you put them on, they do require attunement. I don't have the items for it because I figured it's not necessary to make extra items. But they do require you to use an attunement slot. But once you attune to the magic of the wetsuits, they are called seal suits. They fit tight to the skin and stretch around, made of stretchy leather. They grant you a 30-foot swimming speed.
Nice.
The monk, I know you normally have 50 feet of speed, so you are granted 30 feet. Everybody else is 20 feet. I'm sorry. So everybody has a 20-foot swimming speed with this on underwater, and the monk has a 30-foot swimming speed. Now remember, when you're underwater, things are like 3-dimensional. You can swim up, down, left, and right. No, you don't just go forward and back. In addition to that, you get what is expected. You get 4 potions of water breathing that will give you water breathing for an hour. He's like, you gotta do what you gotta do within an hour, because once the hour runs out, you're dead. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't. We couldn't get any more. This is how much the contract specifies. If you read section AC, Part 4, Title 6, you are only to be provided 1 hour's worth of water breathing potions. And there's there's a measly 4 water breathing potions. So once you take a swig of this potion, you can breathe underwater, but you can do so for an hour. After the hour's up, you start drowning.
All right.
Now, with my boots of striding, will that help anything about being underwater?
Your boots of striding do nothing for you underwater.
Okay.
But you do have everybody has the swimming speed. You have 20 feet of swimming speed. The only person who has more is the monk, who has 30 feet. Just because he naturally is a lot more athletic and able to do more flips and stuff in the water.
Yeah, I'm a dwarf.
Hey, Will, by any chance did you hear why this ship went down? Anyways, like what happened to everybody else on it?
Like, I'm not totally sure what the story was. There were no true survivors. It is only through just surveying that we knew it went down in this area, but nobody's come and tried to actually recover it. It is said that perhaps there was the lighthouse. The lighthouse was malfunctioning. There was a mirror, and the lighthouse was broken. The ship may have hit a rock or something like that, something along those lines. It's hard to say. He says, looks to be accidental. He says, we did a quick survey and we found that the ship was down there, but nobody has gone down to the level of the ship itself to explore.
Is there a mark on the map to show where the ship is?
Yeah.
In correlation to the land?
Yeah, I marked it.
There's an X.
The X?
Yeah.
Yeah, the X.
Okay. Just trying to see where RH could be.
So, as far as you guys knew, RH, or Reginald, he had mentioned that he is coming down, and through an agent who came down and investigated on behalf of Selune previously, he was listed as a passenger on this ship. Unfortunately, at this point, he's gone missing. He's not shown up in Waterdeep. Nobody knows where he is. He could have been captured and killed by the Zentarum, or he could have died down in that ship. This is what you're here to find out.
Alright.
Well, fellas, you ready to take a swig? And, well, let's put we need to put our seal suits on.
Yeah, you don't find it's not very difficult to put your seal suits on. Once you do that, you of course you may put your regular armor on and have your regular items. The armor will not impede you underwater. It's fine.
So are we anchored now?
Yes, you're anchored.
I want to try. This is something what I want to try. I want to try to use my divine sense.
Okay.
And obviously it's the thing that
your divine sense has a range, correct?
Right, 60 feet.
Okay.
And then besides finding let's see, I gotta see where that is now. Celestial fiends or undead, I can find them, but also it says that I can find consecrated objects. So what I'm trying to do is see if I can.
It's consecrated ground rather than objects. Or does it say objects?
Place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated.
Okay. Yes, that would apply to. Obviously, it's a magical artifact of Selune that would absolutely apply to your divine sense. However, you guys are too high up in the water. Your divine sense gives you nothing.
Yeah, because if it's 80 feet down and we're 60 feet, if it's on the bottom.
Yeah, unfortunately, you guys are too close to the surface of the water. You're too far away from the wreck. Your divine sense.
When we get close to the wreck, I'm going to do it again because.
Okay. Another thing I have to point out I didn't go over this earlier, is when you're underwater and you're trying to say stuff to each other, and you try to say something to your partner, I'm going to have to roll some checks to see if they understand what the hell you just said to them. Unless you guys figure out how to communicate before you go down. Because it's not easy to hear somebody underwater, even with water breathing. Water breathing does not give you like fish ears or anything. It just lets you breathe.
Okay, so we need to come up with some hand signals.
Yeah. With the creatures that are native to the water that speak Aquan and stuff like that, they don't have to go through this. They naturally are able to speak underwater and cast spells underwater. But if you don't possess an underwater language like Aquan, and there's absolutely no reason why you would, you have to figure out how you're going to communicate with each other underwater.
Well, fellas, how do you think we're going to communicate with each other?
Well, I think we need just one leader, and the rest of us follow behind. And you can point in directions. You can maybe shaking a fist means there's danger ahead.
Okay.
If you want to go in a certain direction, point that way. If you maybe want one of the other of us to go in a different direction or look in a different direction, you may tap us on the shoulder. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I've searched much underwater before. I'm a dwarf.
I think if I want Goen to do something specific, I'll hold up one finger. That specifies Goen. 2 fingers specifies Clayton. And then 3 fingers specify, was it Tifa?
Typhia.
Typhia.
Idea, do you have any spells to help us with communicating at all? I didn't know. You know, sometimes you get some spells from Selune. She helps us out sometime.
Ooh.
Hey, Dolrak, just give me the middle finger, then I'll know you mean me.
I got you, brother.
All right, let's everybody. Let's take a bathroom break at this time. I think
Okay.
some of us need one. All right, so with wetsuits applied and your armor put on top of the wetsuits. Now, once you're putting on your armor and all your insignia of Selune and stuff is showing off, Willie kind of gives you a little inquisitive look. He's like, "Oh, where you get all this holy gear? Yeah, did you guys off some sort of inquisition or something? You guys take down an inquisition?"
Dolrak looks.
That's some mighty powerful gear you got on. You know, Willie's just kind of looking, and then Willie's parrot, powerful gear, holy warrior gear.
Hired by a group of Selune clerics to clear out an old ruin form one time, and they give this stuff to us as part of the reward.
He looks at you and squints. Selune clerics would give you their armor? Roll me a deception. Willie's looking a little bit. He's looking a little bit inquisitive, and you guys don't know him very well. You don't know who he works for or who he can tell. So,
I want to add to my plus. Does that count as the skills as the charisma +1 and what's his name? Dorlak's +3.
No, it absolutely does not, because the aura only gives you a bonus to your saving throws.
Not skill throws, okay.
Not your skill checks. And you got to have it on before you roll, because once you roll, it's committed. So you're not really sure if he believes you, but he says, "Well, I guess, I've seen stranger things." He says, "Well, he's like, have a good time down there, huh?"
Mm. I guess I should let you do the talking, Dorlak.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, off the water we go.
People never listen to a grumpy old dwarf.
Hey, Will, before we jump in, have you heard of any creatures that we got to worry about around here?
He says there are all manners of horrible things that lurk these waters, and that's why you're hired. Giant crustaceans, large sharks, magically enchanted sharks, dragon turtles, ancient sea dragons. And he just keeps going on and on and on. He says, wanton undead spirits, giant lobsters. It's like sea abominations, followers of Umberlee. And he just keeps, and even as you guys suit up and start diving, he just keeps going on.
So, So he's anchored.
He's anchored.
Okay, so I don't know how we're going to be able to see underwater or what the visibility is and stuff. So I would, if somebody has a light spell, I would like for him, once we get down to the floor of the lake or whatever we're in, someone casts light spell on the chain, just so we'll have something to follow to get back to the ship.
Well, I was wondering about that aura of light.
Yeah. So I forgot to tell you actually. But so Willie says, "Hey, if you're talking about light and seeing down there, in general, it's clear as long as you have a light source. You got to look in the bottom of that chest I gave you. You forgot about that." And you guys indeed go look closer into the chest. And in the bottom of the chest, there are three magical globes. He's like, those be glow mold globes. And Willie tells you how they work. Glow mold globes are small crystal spheres filled with a special magical type of molded flower pollen. And when you shake it vigorously, it activates, sort of like a light stick. It luminesces roughly the brightness and radius of a torch. The glow lasts about 2 hours before it begins to fade. These are single-use glow globes.
I got 60.
That works. I got a spell of light.
And plus, we have no humans here, so everybody has dark vision. As a matter of fact,
true.
more character and more races in D&D have dark vision that don't have it. So why do they even make dark vision? You know, why is that just not the default?
Yeah.
Well, humans and hobbits or halflings.
Humans,
are the only ones?
humans, hobbits. I believe Dragonborn. I think for some reason.
Dragonborn don't have dark vision, I don't think.
Yeah, I believe those are the only 3 races that don't have it. Everybody else has dark vision.
Hobbits.
So if everybody has it, it should just be the norm. And the humans
dark
are the ones
vision, we won't
who have
need it.
restrictions.
Alright.
So we can shake one of the light things up and put it on that chain. Is that what you're saying?
You can carry it, put it on the chain, whatever you want.
Well, we'll carry 2 of them. You said there was 3.
There's 3 of them.
Well, we should carry 2 of them just in case we need a light source. We'll have it. We'll have 2 of them with us, and we'll shake the one and somehow connect it to the chain.
He's like,
just
yeah, Willie says, if you go to the surface, the bottom of the sea, it's usually pretty clear because all the dust settles. Unless there's some creatures about, then they stir up the dust.
All right, I guess the only other thing I'd say is make sure we stay within around 10 feet of each other. That way we get the protection of Selune.
Yes, through your battles in the past, you guys have learned that when you stay within you stay within the power of Selune, you're safer than when you go off on your own. This is something, you guys are well-seasoned adventurers and Knights of Selune, so you know this.
And we should know that when we get into a battle formation, that we're back to back, so that we can protect ourselves from all sides.
Of course, that can be situational too. So
Right.
we might start out that way, but
Well, Dolrak, you are the leader, so whether the party lives or dies, it's up to your leadership.
That's my fault. Okay.
If everybody dies,
whatever plane you go to, I'll haunt you for the rest of your life if you let me die in this, Dolrak.
I'll go have a drink.
Okay, you guys. When you guys are ready, you jump into the water, and immediately hitting the water, it's ice cold, and it takes you a minute to just adjust to it. It's very uncomfortable. But after a while, after drinking the potions of water breathing, at first it's very difficult, but you force yourself, and you breathe in the water, and the magic of the potion of water breathing allows you to breathe the water. And now that you're breathing in the water, it takes a minute or two for you to get used to it, because at first you feel like you're about to drown, but then you realize that you can breathe. And after a minute or two, you feel used to it, you feel comfortable. It's like you're scuba diving at this point. You look around, the barge, the outline of the barge is directly up above you. You realize that when you try to talk to each other, it's very difficult to hear. Even though it's possible to hear, it's just very, very difficult. Just because you're not talking in air. And you see the anchor chain of the barge go all the way down into the murky depths below.
I think we want to follow that down, guys?
Yeah, we'll follow the chain down until we find the anchor.
So you
then...
all grab the chain, and you kind of lower yourselves down. Looking around, you can't really see much, but clearly there's nothing that to be seen where you are. It's just darkness. And you start following the chain down. The light that you have is pretty much just emitting, the distance of like a torch or so. So it's about 60, a little bit more than 60 feet that you can see. And you start kind of hoisting it down. And Willie told you that it was about 70 feet or so, but you could swear that you've been kind of going down for more than 70 feet. You think you've actually gone down maybe 150 feet or so, but finally you descend toward to the bottom of the anchor.
How many minutes did it take us to get to the bottom?
Oh, you think it was a good 5 minutes or so?
5 minutes down, probably.
Yeah, but you guys think you can go up faster because when you're going down, you're going very carefully, looking around. If you were to rush it, you can probably make it up a lot faster.
Okay.
So as you're going down, before long, you see the ship. It is the ship is very large. It's a capsized vessel. It is resting upside down in the water, where the sails have been cracked in half. And you can see that there's a lot of sea debris that's covered most of the ship. But as you're coming down, you can see that clearly there is a hull breach. On the back of the ship, the aft side of the ship. There's a lot of ship terminology here, but I'll try to make it more clear. The hull breach kind of opens up to darkness within the ship. As you get to the ocean floor, you see a bunch of strange fish kind of swimming back and forth. You normally don't see these fish, on the surface, and you certainly don't see these fish in the market. They're kind of fish with sharp razor-like teeth. You see a couple of fish with phosphorescent glows. On the bottom of the floor, as you land, a couple of small crabs scuttle away. You look around, as far as you can see, no giant crustaceans.
Are we at the hull breach right now? Is that where we're at? Oh, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
I see, said the blind man.
The deaf, yeah.
It's all coming back to me now.
So, before you, directly in front of you, obviously, this is the ship. This is the aft of the ship, or the back of the ship. This is the hull breach.
Okay.
So 20 foot from us is the hull breach?
Yeah, this is kind of where you are. You guys actually hit the sea floor, but you'd have to actually climb up. You have to swim up a little bit to kind of see where the hull breach is.
Okay.
I was going to say, is the ship upside down again?
The ship is upside down. So,
Okay.
So this is the bottom of the ship that you're looking at with the hull breach.
So the castle's going to be smashed. So we're going to have to go...
The black box should still be there, though.
Yeah.
We hope.
Yeah.
Right.
So you kind of look to the left and the right of the ship. The ship is wedged between rocks, and part of it is inside a chasm. There's no real good way to reach the main deck, which means the top of the ship. It looks to be completely buried.
Mm-hmm.
So I say we move forward and investigate our surroundings.
Well, I'm going to go up to the. I would like to go up to where the hull breach is and cast that my divine sense again.
Don't be lazy. You can move your token.
Oh well, I just didn't know if you had them there for.
No, it's
Well,
now we have a map. Can you move your token? There you go.
Yeah, I can move it. But Dolrak, you're supposed to be the leader, so
You're moving the wrong token. You're moving.
Yeah, you're moving Clayton.
Clayton.
So maybe I should go in first.
Well, I just.
Remember, body system. We all kind of stay close to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted when I get close to the as close to the breach as possible. I want to use my divine sense.
So whoever,
how big is the ship?
Who has the highest? I think history would be most appropriate. Who has the highest history? Whoever has the highest history, I want you to roll it.
See, -1. Does that count?
That's pretty, but that might actually be the highest,
God.
considering this group.
+4? I got +3 at history.
Okay,
I
you can roll
got
it.
-1.
I got +4.
Okay, whoever's got the highest, roll it. All right, so you're kind of thinking about ship terminology and how ships are built in terms of your knowledge of history. You don't know that much about ships, but you know enough to understand that every ship, a vessel of this size, in order to kind of stay afloat, it has something called a bilge. A bilge is the very bottom of the ship. And its purpose is when water kind of floods the ship, that very bottom of the ship collects water. It's usually a closed-off compartment that is, that does not contain any cargo or any people. So what you're looking at with the hull breach is the bilge of the ship. Like what's directly beneath the hull breach.
So
it appears that the hull was smashed. The breach of the hull is continuous with the bilge of the ship. So usually in a bilge, it's a closed compartment that just collects seawater and stuff. It doesn't usually have any people or items in it or cargo in it.
So we'll have to take an axe and put a hole in the bottom of which would be the top of the bilge to go into the hull of the ship.
From where we're standing and looking around on the ground, do we see anything scattered on the ground, or do we see any other possible breaches where maybe we could get in that would be above?
Well, what are you looking for specifically when you're looking around?
There's the two things I'm specifically looking for. I'm looking for if possibly the black box might be scattered around on the surface.
Okay.
On the bottom surface of the ocean.
You certainly don't see the black box on the ground. That would be way too easy.
As well.
You certainly do not see your quest items on the ground.
And then also another way to get in.
Okay, in terms of finding another way to get in, when you swim around the ship, you actually find a second hull breach in the front of the ship, or the bow. You can put your token there, and you'll see it. That hull breach appears to actually go into a lower deck of the ship.
See, this is where we want to enter. I believe. I kind of point at it.
I was gonna say Clayton was probably after realizing the bulge area, like tried to signal, and we probably should go around the ship to see if there's other areas to go in. Can't take the point to the eye, circling around.
Okay, I have to do a quick map transition as you go as you walk into this. This is for our purposes, we're going to call this deck 2 of the ship.
So we're on deck 2.
So this is the map is now turned horizontal, as opposed to being vertical as it was before. So you get oriented of where you are. You swim inside this hull breach, and it appears that you are in what appears to be the forward cargo hold of the ship, which is a place where where a lot of the things are stored. You look around, and this area is mostly clear. There's a couple of boxes here and there with rotting furs inside because they're waterlogged. The main mast bears a deep indentation as if something forcefully slammed into it. So that's what created this this hull breach. It looks like something very large just smashed into it. You look around, amidship, you see outline of the cargo hatch, which is that hatch directly in front of you. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, so this is a cargo hatch, and this actually, so because the ship is upside down, this thing from where you're looking at goes down.
Right.
If the ship were right side up, it would be going up, obviously.
It's a possibility that
I'm going to tap
could be
both.
trapped.
Yeah, I'm going to tap. It's hard for me to remember the names. Tofia?
Yeah.
No. Who's with me? Who's with me? Clayton's with me. So I'm going to tap him and Gorlock, and I'm just going to point to the back of the ship, and I'm going to tell him to follow me, and walk back there to see if there's anything in the back of the ship. Keeping my eyes open. I can't move my tokens now.
Is it possible there could be some traps? I mean, even though it's just a merchant ship.
I don't know why you can't move your token. There's something weird going on. Let me see. Oh, I have you in a beam. That's why. I have your token inside a beam.
Okay, so I want to just kind of go back here to I want to see if there's you guys don't have to necessarily follow, but
stop. Everybody stop.
I gotta say, I know Clayton's gonna stick with going because that was the plan, at least.
Right.
Everybody stop the minute you get to this area. We are rolling initiative. So, Dolrak, in order to roll initiative, open up your character sheet. Get to the main page of your character sheet. You can see the initiative is right in the middle between AC and speed.
Yep, I got it. Roll it in the text box.
Yeah.
So the minute you guys enter the main cargo hold, you see two large fish swimming in the back of the cargo hold, and they startle as you disturb the waters in the boat. They immediately realize you're there. They're very sensitive creatures, and they clearly are extremely aggressive and territorial. They don't like the fact that you're there, and they immediately attack. This is what these creatures look like.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh, a lionfish. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So is everybody in initiative?
Yep.
I didn't roll.
The lionfish number 2 is first in initiative. It is the one that has gotten the highest in initiative.
Yeah, we all rolled really bad for your name.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't horrible. It's just they were a lot better. I guess. Well, gosh, I guess you guys did roll horrible. I thought you rolled better. Wow.
The fish swims over. It looks at you and immediately activates its defensive mechanism called forceful spit. You see the fish spits out a stream of a jet of water that flies through all of you. I think you guys are in. Yep.
Is it got poison in it or just water?
You'll find out right now. It's a 5-foot wide line that flies out at you, and everybody does a dexterity saving.
Don't forget the auras.
Don't forget the auras.
Okay, we are reminded of the auras. So, because of the auras, have you applied auras to everybody who needs to have an aura? Remember,
I have.
remember, not everybody gets the aura because not everybody's within 10 feet. Tefa is not within 10 feet of you, so your aura doesn't pay for it. So you gotta keep...
She's within 10 feet of me.
Oh, she is. I'm sorry. Gowen's aura. Yeah, Gowen's aura doesn't reach Tifa.
No, but it reaches all the rest of us.
Yeah.
And I also put, is that all on myself too?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's your
Yeah.
Resistant to poison.
Your aura is always on yourself. But all dwarves have poison resistance, and that effect should already be on your character.
I gotta roll a dexterity save, you said?
It's wrong one. Hang on, I ain't got my effect on everybody.
I thought I had 2 auras on me, so.
I put the charm aura on you and didn't mean to. Okay.
Now I have 3 auras of protection.
Alright, let me do a quick check. I'm not going to do this every round, but... Gowen, you have 1 aura on you. You should have 2. Oh, no, you have 2, sorry. Gowen, you have 2. Clayton, you have 2. Dolrak, you should have also 2. And Tifa, you only have 1. Okay, we are good on auras. Now, I'm going to roll a dexterity save for all of you.
That is kind of...
So, the way Fantasy Grounds works is that it allows me to roll dexterity saves for you, just so the scripts work quickly. So, all 4 of you roll dexterity saves. Despite your aura, 2 of you fail miserably. So, whoever succeeds on the save takes half damage. This is not magical spell damage, so your aura doesn't protect it from it. That's a big ouch.
What kind of damage was it?
Bludgeoning.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This is a kinetic, sort of like a kinetic type of energy. It's not non-magical. You guys take a painful blast as this lionfish spits out this 200-mile-per-hour jet stream at you. And the people who failed, you get knocked prone. So I'm going to apply the prone condition to Gowen and the prone condition to Clayton.
And doesn't hit, since he's prone, that takes away his aura?
I don't think prone takes away your aura, unless I'm
Just
mistaken.
Unconsciousness.
Yeah, because that would be a nightmare if it did, because
Right.
we have to keep track of that crap. Okay, that is the turn of this horrible creature that has just challenged you to a battle. Go and you're up.
Okay, well I stand up, which means I have how much movement left?
You have 10 feet because you are using swimming speed.
All right, well now I will move up to the lionfish, and I will. I'm still not used to all this stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and take a swing at him with
Very
my
well.
warhammer.
Very well. Remember, I believe you have 2 attacks. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Starting at 5th level, we got 2 attacks.
Yes.
So there's my first attack.
That is a hit on the lionfish.
And I'm going to smite him.
Okay, apply the smite effect to yourself and take off that spell slot before doing damage.
Device smite. I open that up, and I'm just gonna apply the regular. So just I do it to the fish, to myself, right?
Yes, you apply it to. It's sort of this works the same way as Hunter's Mark. Put it on yourself before you roll damage.
Okay, I did that.
So you're doing a level 1 divine smite using a level 1 spell slot.
Right.
Gives you additional 1d8 radiant damage. Why did you roll 2d8 radiant damage?
I just put. It gets 2d8.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got confused. Yes, I'm confused. Yes, it's 2d8. Level 1 is 2d8. You do a delicious 15 points of damage to this fish.
Right, so,
You cut off half of its spines.
because I'm angry. I'm like, you busted fish, spitting at me like that without any warning. I'll take you down the next time, and I'll pass my turn.
Are you sure you want to pass your turn?
Oh, I can't think of it.
You
What
got
else?
your extra
Oh,
attack.
my extra attack.
But
Okay.
because you have two, I'll give it to you this
Yeah.
time. But in the
Yeah.
future, if you forget, you lose it.
Yeah, I've got all this paladin stuff. I've never played
I know.
paladin.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right. And it was a hit. And here comes the damage.
Oh, go in.
That's not great damage.
Kill the fishes.
And now I'll pass my turn. And thanks for that.
Do you have anything you want to do with the bonus action?
I think the only bonus action, I'm not 100. I think the only thing I have is the lay on hands. Is that a bonus action?
Yeah.
I don't remember if that's a bonus action.
Well, look, I'll just pass it now because I wouldn't do it right now until I got a little bit more wounded anyway. So I don't think I'm going to look through and see if I got any, but I'll pass for now.
Okay, lionfish number 1 is up, and this fish is going to swim over here. The fish has a lot of speed, and the fish I think can only catch 2 of you in his split. But he's going to do the same thing that his friend did, except he's only going to be able to catch 2 of you.
Oh my.
Okay, John, being that you're doing this again, my monk ability evasion. I'm trying to understand it again. When you're subjected to an effect that allows you to
Yes.
save through, you take only half damage. You instead take no damage if you succeed on the saving throw.
Is
You
that
don't
some?
make half
Is that
damage.
something that you have to use a key point for, or is that something that always
No,
is in effect?
It's always there. So I think I only take quarter damage instead of half damage, is the way I understand it, right? And if I save on it, no damage, right?
It's not. I don't think. I think if you that's not. So this is how evasion works. If you don't save on something, you fail to save, then you take half damage. If you succeed on the save, you take no damage. Yeah, there's no quarter damage and stuff. That's too much to
So my aura will help this.
Yes.
Still mine because he's still within 10 feet of me, but he still has them both on. I think.
He's out of 10 feet.
Huh?
Yeah, he's out of range. 10 feet is you're technically between squares right now, so it's more like this. It's more like this. More like
You want me
this.
to take that off of him then?
Yeah, he's out of your aura because you moved ahead. He is still in Dolrak's aura, so you got to take off.
And
I get that. Okay, I got it.
So
Gone is out of my aura.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have to do a saving throw right now. So
I know, but I gotta turn it off.
yeah, you got to at least turn it off before we do another saving throw. This is why being a paladin requires a lot more kind of management than people think. What happens a lot of times is people just completely forget about the auras, and you are missing out on one of the best features of the paladin. So that's something we hopefully we'll get to master it, so it becomes automatic.
yeah, but was it more only? Yeah.
So right now, the only aura that applies is Dolrak's aura. So both of you should have Dolrak's aura before I roll the save. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to roll a saving throw for a forceful spit. That is 2 successes. So, Clayton, you take no damage because of your successful evasion. Dolrak, you will be taking half damage. And you're not knocked prone. So that should automatically take off 11 points of damage from you. Just make sure that it works properly. Yes, it looks like it did. Okay, things are things are going well. These fish are assaulting you. Clayton, you're up.
Clayton gonna go and try to help Gone over here. Even though I know that Dolrak will take care of the other one with Tife. So he'll move up. What he'll do is, as he's moving up, he will pull out his short sword, mumble, as his bonus action, mumble out Moonrunner.
I have a question. He's still prone, Clayton?
Oh yes, I will take off that effect because you had to get up from being prone, but your walking speed, your swimming speed is 15, with including getting up, so you can make it.
Yeah. I will drop my dancing short sword on the water to go to the other side of this fish to hack it. So, as a bonus action, it's going to make that attack. That lionfish.
Oh, that short sword misses the lionfish.
Yes, it's a little slow on the water. He's not quite used to it. And then I'm just gonna punch the heck out of it with a strength.
That is definitely a hit on the lionfish. You punch the lionfish in the eye. Are you gonna spend any key points to do stun lock?
Yes, I'm gonna try to stun this creature for a time being.
Okay, so first roll the damage.
Yep. Wacky whack. Top attack. And then
Roll its Constitution save.
Yep.
It fails, and the creature is stun locked.
Let's put a condition on it. And then...
yes, it's helpful if you actually put the condition on it, because that will give everybody advantage when they attack it.
Yep. It's done.
So
and then I'm hitting with my second attack.
Using your fist, you punch it in a certain way where the fish just kind of like now is like can't find see stars. It's just kind of floating around.
Right in its gills. Make it hard for it to breathe underwater. And then, I don't know why that rolled twice. Oh yeah, because I stunned it.
You got
my second attack. And then that is the damage put into it, and that is my turn.
Tough dude.
Dolrak, now it's your turn.
I'm going to take I get 15 feet.
You're not prone, so you get 20 feet.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over here to number 1. And I'm gonna target number 1. And I'm going to use Divine Smite. As soon as I find it.
Hit it first, and then you call Divine Smite.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna use my
And you got
heirloom battle axe. So I go ahead and roll my attack.
You do hit the fish.
And then now I'm going to apply Divine Smite.
Which level of Divine Smite?
Level 2.
Okay, to apply that effect to yourself. That, I believe, is 3d8 radiant damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta mark mine off. I forgot.
Okay.
And also remember, check off that you use the spell slot.
Yeah, I forgot to do that on mine, but I just now did.
So now I am going to throw my damage.
Nice.
24 points of damage. Not bad.
Very sweet.
Now,
You get a second attack.
yes, just to remind you, because of your high level, you get a second attack. In order to make the second attack, you have to have made the first attack. So they have to come together. You have to make the first attack. So in order, when you have 2 attacks, but you can't, you have to use your action to make the first attack in order to have use your action to cast a spell, you can't make a second attack after that.
Oh, okay.
They gotta come together.
So,
Oh, I see what you're saying. You can miss the first attack and still get a second
Yeah, of
attack.
course.
Yeah, okay. And then let me ask you,
I think you can only use one divine smite per turn.
yeah, I was going to ask. I thought that was the case.
That's something I need to check on. I don't remember, but I think it's only once per turn. You can't divine smite twice per turn. I don't think
even
so.
if it's a different level?
I think he's right about that.
It doesn't matter what level. Divine smite is something you can only use once per turn, I believe.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and make my second attack.
Okay. Second attack also
Yeah.
hits.
And then I'm going to use Thunderous Smite.
I don't think you can use.
That's a spell. You can't really do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't cast that because in order to use Thunderous Smite, you have to declare that you're casting a spell as an action. You've already attacked as an action, so you can't do that. That's why Thunder Smite is a little bit different than Divine Smite.
Right. Okay, well, I'll just make a
regular damage.
Yeah, you'll have to look that up because it don't say that in the description of Divine Smite. It don't say only once per turn.
I'll have to look it up. You might.
I thought I read that somewhere, but it don't say that in the description on here.
I will look that up for later. You do 8 points of damage on that second hit. Now you've used your action for the turn. You do have a bonus action left. If you have anything that you want to do with a bonus action.
A cantrip's not considered a bonus action. Or
Clayton, Gone can't hear you. You're looking at him. You're going.
Well, that's what's going on. I'm trying to have gone. Put the order on me. That's all.
They're calling Thunderous Smite a bonus action.
It's a bonus at. Hold on a second. We have to look it up. Oh man, this is. I gotta look that up in terms of how many.
I'll go ahead and put that zone of protection thing on you.
Yeah, I gotta look it up to see if you're allowed to do that this turn. It's unfortunately it's already been rolled, but this is something that we need to verify. I don't see people doing Thunderous Smite much. It says the description of Thunderous Smite it says the first time you hit with a melee weapon. So this is already during the spell's duration. Your weapon rings with thunder that is audible. So in order to so you probably could have casted it on this turn. Unfortunately, I did not let you, so it's my bad. I don't have time to go backwards on it, but next time we know. Okay.
I'll just pass my turn.
Okay, Tayfa, it's your turn.
Alright.
I need to untarget him.
You don't have to. You don't always just remember to untarget before any other things are done. Like,
okay.
A lot of times, what happens is people have somebody target, they forgot they hadn't targeted, and then their next turn they're fighting somebody else, and you roll against both of them. That's what happens a lot of times.
Alright, so Dolrak, how are you doing for health?
I'm good. I believe. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm just gonna
I have
move
60 health left.
Oh, yeah, you have my match. Alright, I'm gonna move here.
Unless I get a crit, then I'm screwed.
Ooh, let's see what I can get here.
You know, in the 5.5 edition, they're going to change the rules. Monsters can no longer crit because it's because they don't want to protect those dinky first level adventurers that get insta killed by the bugbear.
Wolves don't have them for the bugbear. Oh. Anyone lost mine at some Belver you do at low levels, but yeah. Anyway, I am going to target this guy, and I'm going to cast Sacred Flame.
What is it?
Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame.
Flame don't work underwater.
Sacred Flame is not real flame. flame. I don't
So
think.
underwater, sacred flame is not actual fire damage; it's radiant damage. But if you do fire spells underwater, everything is resistant to fire. You can cast it; it'll hit something, cause fire damage, but the fire immediately goes out because you're underwater. So everything is resistant to fire underwater.
So it's half damage automatically. Then what if they save? So if they save, is it half damage?
Well, no. If you resistance plus a save is a half damage, I believe.
Alright, so you want me to roll the save?
Yes, roll a save, please.
Okay.
The lionfish is very agile and succeeds on its saving throw.
Alright, so it takes no damage, right?
Takes no damage.
Alright, and that is...
You have anything that you want to do with your bonus action?
I'll do with my bonus action.
Be aware, he is a cleric of war. You can have a yes. If you attack, you can have a second attack. You have a 4 possible second attacks with the war priest. With a war priest ability, you have 4 possible second attacks as a bonus action.
He can still do that because he just cantrip don't count as action, right? Or does it?
It does.
I use the cantrip of a fool as my regular action.
Yeah, if you have a bonus action spell that you want to cast, you may. Otherwise, your turn is going to go. So this is the situation where I would start putting up timers. Don't have time for you to see that this out.
Well, in this case, I'm just going to end my turn.
Okay, lionfish number 2 is up. Lionfish number 2 rolls a recharge for that spit.
Which one is lionfish number 2? I thought he was.
He's the one near you.
That's the one besides you.
Yes, he is stunned and he can't even take his turn, but he still gets to roll a recharge.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He does no recharge, and being in a stun condition, his entire turn is wasted just staring into the ceiling. His stun condition ends at the end of the turn.
End of my turn, I believe.
And I don't remember. Is it end of your turn or his turn?
Keep the target until the end of my next turn.
Okay, so he is still stunned. So if you attack him, you still get advantage.
And then it gone.
All right. Well, I'm
Stun lock
raise my
fish.
hammer up, and I look at the fish in the eye, and I say, "I'm going to squish your head." And I take a. Oh yeah, attack with advantage. I forgot.
That's why we have fantasy ground scripts. Even when you forget, usually you catch it.
Yeah, and I think I'm just going to roll regular damage on him for right now. Okay, I'll take my second swing at him. Yeah, that's a hit. This time I'm going to divine smite him at level 2. So I put that on me. And then I roll my damage. Here you go. Take the hammer.
Very nice. One thing is, Dolrak, when you're playing a paladin, obviously you only have a limited number of divine smites because they consume your spell slots. So sometimes you want to save them. The best time ever to use a divine smite is a critical hit, because you get to decide whether or not you want to smite after you attack. If you roll a critical hit, your damage is double. That includes the entire damage of your divine smite. So that's how the paladins, the smite locks, come out and jack out 100 points of damage.
Right.
So if you're thinking about using it as a resource, sometimes you want to smite, sometimes you don't want to smite. That would be an absolute best time to smite.
Especially on a crit.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I look through my spell. I don't really have a spell I can cast A cantrip.
Yeah, something like Healing Word, you can cast that as a bonus action if you had it. I'm not sure you have it.
I do have healing word.
Yeah, that's something you could do as a bonus action. Healing Word is it's a half heal. It doesn't heal as much as Cure Wounds, but it's something you can do as a bonus action. And it has a range of 60 feet.
Now this lay on hands I have.
Oh yeah, lay on hands is different. You gotta be adjacent.
Cantrip. So okay, so then I can't do anything. So I'm gonna pass my turn. I'm gonna leave it to you, buddy.
Okay, Lionfish number 1. Oh, he recharges his spell. Oh boy, he gets to take another swing at you guys with this spin attack. I'm going to target you two. Do you have the appropriate auras?
I do. I believe I do.
Auras, yeah.
Don't forget the auras.
Okay, I'm just I'm checking for now. The aura is the one that comes from Dolrak. You have aura protection +3, and Taifa, you also have aura protection. Okay, perfect. I'm going to roll the saving throw, which is a DC 14 Dex save. Oh, I'm sorry, I have Clay in front of me. I'm going to untarget you. Unless I try to angle it like this. No, that's not fair. That's not fair. I already declared my angle, so I'm not gonna.
That's kind of hit the post, I think.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have. I'm not gonna have Clay to be a part of this. So we have.
Supposed to be good at your theory checks and
Dolrak, you have failed to save. Taifa, you've succeeded on the save. So, Dolrak, you take the full damage. Taifa, you take half. Dolrak, you take 17 points of damage and you're knocked prone from the incredibly fast jet stream that shoots out at you. Taifa, you took half damage and you are not knocked prone. Clayton, now it's your turn.
Okay, bonus action, I'm going to use my dancing sword to make an attack against the lionfish. Right next to us.
The lionfish is still stunned. Is it the end of your turn?
The end of my turn.
Okay.
So that was a success, right? So we'll do that, and then punchy punch.
Oh, so close to a crit. And then 5 points of damage, and then I believe, yeah, you get a second punch too.
Yeah. That did a lot of damage.
Not much damage.
Just my punches aren't as strong in the water.
Anything else? Using key points for anything? Flurry of blows, anything?
No, because I used my bonus action to move the
that's
sword.
right. All right, Dolrak, it's your turn. Now the stun disappears, correct? Yes.
Yes.
Dolrak, you're up.
Okay, how do I get unprone?
I have to unprone it because remember I applied the effect to you, so I have to take it off.
You just have to say you're standing
So
up.
you have to use half of your movement, which is your swimming speed, which is 20 feet. So you use 10 feet to stand up.
Okay, so I'm going to attack the same number 1 dire lionfish.
Remember the smites and stuff you were trying to do?
Yeah.
So Thunderous Smite is something that you have to declare as a bonus action. I'm doing a Thunderous Smite.
Okay, so
However, the difference is that Thunderous Smite is a spell. So you have to declare Thunderous Smite before you even attack, unlike your other smite.
So let's go ahead and try the Thunderous Smite this time.
So you charge up your axe with a Thunderous Smite.
So does he still get two? He still gets 2 attacks, though, right?
Yeah.
And the Thunder Smite stays there until it gets used up.
Yes, it's the
So if
first.
he misses on the first, he can still have his Thunderous Strike on the second.
Yes, I believe that's how it works.
I think that was what I read, but
The Wrathful Smite and Thunderous Smite, it's a concentration spell you cast on yourself, and they come into effect.
Yeah. That's what I understood it. It doesn't stay more than one round if it doesn't hit. If he misses.
No, it's a 1 minute concentration spell. So it stays on you for 1 minute, but you have to hold concentration on it.
Right. So
Like for instance, he just missed, and it's still on him.
But all I'm saying is, if he misses twice, it'll still be on him on the next round.
Yes,
Unless he loses
it's a one.
concentration.
The spell lasts for 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, hold on a second, Dolrak. You cast a spell.
Okay.
Thunderous Smite. Let me check Thunderous Smite. Thunderous Smite has a verbal component. You are casting a spell underwater. Roll me a d10.
D10.
Just a flat d10 dice. It's the one that looks like a UFO.
Okay. Roll it in the box.
Just it doesn't matter.
Dice tower.
You don't want a 1. Okay, you're good. You are able to cast that spell despite being underwater. Now you may progress to do your second attack that you were planning.
Come on, Dolrak. Even though you kind of don't understand what you're doing over there from all the way over here. Yeah.
Was that Thunderous Smite a number 2 spell?
It should be.
It's
What's in the description if you got it?
You should be able to see what level it is. It's a level 1 spell.
Okay, I want to make sure I mark off the right box.
I don't know if you can upcast it. I don't remember. Because I rarely see anybody use this. So.
He wanted to be a smiter.
Yeah. No, you can't upcast it.
Okay. That's a hit.
That is a hit. You do, and so when you unleash a thunderous smite on this fish, the boat starts rocking because of the thunder damage that you do to the fish. You see that parts of the rotten floorboards of the boat fall off, and you can actually see the deck that is technically a higher deck, but it's below you because the boat's upside down. And you look at the deck below you, and you realize in horror that because you used a thunderstorm and rocked the boat, it looks like you've upset something below you. You see a bunch of tiny little creatures scampering about. They're heading for that hatch. But luckily, you do all this damage to this fish, and also Thunder Smite has a second ability. As
Which knocks it prone.
It doesn't knock it. It has to do a strength saving throw. So this is. I need you to do this for me, so you know how to do it. You have the fish targeted, right? If you go to Thunder Smite on your character sheet, and you open it up, you see on the top of the when you open it up with a magnifying glass, you're going to see a lot of stuff. One of the stuff says save strength DC 12.
Yes.
So I want you to roll that on behalf of the fish. So the fish is going to roll his strength saving throw. The fish succeeds on the strength saving throw. So nothing happens. If it had failed, it would have been knocked prone and pushed in.
Did he roll his damage? I didn't look.
He did.
Oh, okay.
So you cast the Thunder Smite, and that spell is used. And you've used the spell slot. So this turn, you have made 2 attacks. The second attack you used, you hit and used the Thunder Smite. If you wish, and you have a bonus action you want to use, you can use it. But otherwise, anything else you want to do. You already used 10 feet of your movement.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to pass my turn.
Okay, but you realize in horror that there's some creatures coming towards that hatch.
So that's what I was wondering if I could just lay hands on myself.
That's the action.
A lay on hands will cost an action.
Okay.
Maybe you can kind of motion for your buddy there to stand on top of the hatch. To keep it from opening.
Well, if I move one space down, it would be an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, I know.
So then I could hold the hatch down.
Yeah, but you'll have to take an attack of opportunity, right?
You take an attack of opportunity when you move outside the creature's melee range. So
the hatch is still inside it, right?
It depends on where you move. If you move here, you take an attack of opportunity. If you move
Right,
here,
also-
you don't.
Yeah,
That's where I was going to move. Right there. And then now I'll relinquish my turn.
Okay.
Alright, I still have the fish tournament. I am going to cast.
I'll take some healing.
Actually, yeah, I'm going to skip that. Instead of casting a spell on the fish, I'm going to target Dolrak and cast Cure Wounds.
Alright, you took out more than half, yeah.
Does Cure Wounds have a verbal component?
It does.
So I need a D10 roll. You do not want to
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, you barely are able to mouth the words of the spell underwater.
He choked on some seaweed.
Okay, is Cure Wounds 1d8?
I believe it's a D8 plus your spell casting ability modifier at first level.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see. So if you're casting a level 1 Cure Wounds, yes, that's 8 plus. That's D8 plus 3. You cure Dolrak for 8 hit points.
Yep.
Thank you.
Let's see. The first level spell, and then I'm going to end my turn.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
All right.
Lionfish number 2, now able to act again, rolls another recharge. He fails to recharge his forceful spit attack. Therefore, he's going to go back to doing what he normally does. Right now, the problem is that what he would like to do is headbutt, but he has to move out of your range in order to perform a headbutt. He's not going to do that, so he's going to just attempt to bite you 2 times. He's going to target.
Before you go, who's he going after?
He's going to go after each of you.
Well, I'm a protection fighting style.
Okay, so if you use a protection, I'm going to roll his attack on Clayton first. Okay, I'm going to roll with disadvantage.
You want me to put the
No. I'll just do a disadvantage because it's just
Okay.
I'm aware of that. So he attempts to bite Clayton with disadvantage. Definitely misses. Now he's going to attempt to bite you. This is a normal bite. He does penetrate your armor, unfortunately. Rolling
I'm gonna eat you, fish.
22. He's gonna penetrate your armor, and he does 2d10 plus 3 piercing damage with his bite. Ouch! That is 17 points of damage by the dire lionfish.
Just a scratch.
Gone, it is your turn.
Okay. Well, that kind of ticked me off a little bit.
You
I'm just
protected
bleeding
your
a little
ally.
bit,
You
but-
put out your shield to protect your ally,
That's
but
what a
you
paladin would do.
exposed yourself to the bite.
So I'm gonna take my hammer and I said, "This is the end of you, Bucko." I swing down as hard as I can with my hammer.
Clayton's buying the ale.
That is a successful hit.
Definitely divine smiting this sucker. As soon as I find my divine strike, there it is. I'm going to do another level 2 divine smite. Because I'm really angry and I want to get rid of this stupid lionfish.
Certainly.
Take that!
Ooh, 28 points of damage, but this lionfish has too many hit points. You guys are level 9. Too many hit points for you to kill on that.
We're actually level 8, but...
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
And so I'm like, no! What's the matter with me? I can't swing hard enough. Let me try again. And it's a hit. Yeah, I just have to do regular damage this time, right? I can't smite him again.
You can't use it.
Alright, there's my damage.
Still not enough to kill it. It looks very badly damaged. You can see that the spines are all broken. The fish is barely able to keep upright.
Well, since I can't do anything else, I passed my turn, dang it.
Okay, so the two of you are standing on that hatch. preventing anything from coming up from the hatch. However, the creatures on the bottom, they're not that stupid, so they scuttle around and they find the other hatch. And
The other hatch.
yeah, there was a hatch right next to where you guys walked in. It was covered with some boxes. You had no time to look for it before you ran inside the ship and got insulted by these fish. So these creatures that are now startled run up the other hatch, and you can see this tiny little this creature crawls out of the other hatch looking like this. And there's a lot of them.
Gremlins. Okay.
You're not... I'm not sure you guys have even encountered these creatures before, but the creature runs out of the other hatch. Comes up to you. That's the end of its turn because it can't. It's using double speed. A second creature shows up right next to you. A third creature.
Oh gosh.
Shows up right next to you. You're the one who set off the thunder, so these creatures are coming up to kill you. Lionfish number 1. He's going to roll a recharge. I'm sorry, he recharges. Let me see. You know what? The lionfish is actually gonna have to take opportunity attacks to do that. But you know what? The lionfish actually is not allied with these damn dragons. He's gonna accept an opportunity attack. So Dolrak, as the lionfish leaves your range, you may choose to use your reaction to do an opportunity attack against it. You have to have a reaction available in order to do it. Do you want to take an opportunity attack?
No.
Okay, you do not. Well,
Because I need to save my attack for these.
no, it does not.
Different.
So you have 3 resources: your attack, your bonus attack, your action, your bonus action, and a reaction. They're different
okay.
things.
You'll still have an action coming.
Yeah,
even
the
if you
reaction you
react.
can use at any time, even though it's not
Yes,
your
I'll
turn.
I'll take a reaction.
Okay, so
for the,
please target him and make an attack.
Did you say he gets two attacks or just one?
A reaction is only 1 attack,
Okay, that's
unless you have some spell feat.
right.
He's targeted.
You may make an
And,
additional attack against him.
And I'm just going to do a heirloom battle axe.
Anyone listening to Shipwreck and just hear all these moaning underwater?
That's what these gremlins are doing. These water gremlins.
So
What the lionfish is doing does make sense because you said that they were aggressive and didn't like anybody coming into their space, so he would probably attack the gremlins. Or at least there's a chance he would.
This fish is not allied with gremlins.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He probably would attack them.
As a matter of fact, the gremlins are going to attack the fish too. This very specifically laid out in the adventure that these creatures do not like each other. As a matter of fact, it looks like the fish has carved out its own space to keep the gremlins away. But now that the gremlins are startled because they're drawn to this thunder magic. You hit.
I made my attack.
That is
attack of opportunity.
I believe that's a hit. Did you roll damage? Yes, you did.
Yeah,
Okay.
13.
We are finished. Now, I'm going to go back to the lionfish because it's still the lionfish's turn. He's going to get in. He's going to get in position, and he's going to attack you two and the gremlin
Oh.
because he doesn't like this damn gremlin either.
Thanks.
So, have your auras been properly distributed? Obviously, you don't. You're not putting your aura
Yes.
on enemies. They don't apply to
Right.
enemies. Okay. He's going to do a forceful spit. This lionfish is rolling like he's in Vegas.
Before you do that, was my reaction this turn or is this a different turn?
What reaction you talking about?
For the disadvantage for protection. Oh, they're not within 5 feet. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Disregard.
No, this is the same turn, I believe. Oh no,
Yeah, I
actually,
think it was too, but they had to be within 5 feet of me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You have to be in melee range.
Right.
Okay, so it does a forceful spit for 3 creatures.
Hope he chokes on it.
Okay, Dolrak, unfortunately you fail the forceful spit. You're the one that's going to get knocked prone, but that fish, that gremlin also is going to take damage along with all 3 of you. You take the full damage, they take half.
Listen to them gremlins.
Dolrak, you are knocked prone. Dolrak, watch out, because when you are prone, you are very vulnerable. Anything that attacks you while you're prone has advantage.
Oh.
So you want to get up as soon as you can, but it has to be your turn. So you are very vulnerable while you're prone, and you have enemies all around you that potentially can attack you with advantage. There is yet another one of these gremlins that show up. This is a gremlin with apparently it's got disheveled eyebrows. This gremlin is actually runs up to the lionfish, and he's going to start fighting the lionfish. So these gremlins are not allied with you or the lionfish. They will attack everything besides themselves, obviously. We are up to Clayton.
Wanting to deal with this creature that's still in front of me, I am going to be boring and attack with the sword. And
Boring at all. Gotta get rid of it.
you gotta get rid of it. Oh,
You roll a natural 1.
That misses with the sword.
Hey, you shouldn't have been so pessimistic when you took the swing. Hey, I'm not moving that. Or did you?
I didn't move. I don't know why my creature. I don't know why he was moving. Well, let's give it the old 1-2 punch, hopefully. And with a miss.
Oh my goodness.
You miss twice. At least your third attack is.
Big money, big money.
8 points of damage. This fish is barely alive. It looks like
Gosh, it's still alive.
you can't imagine that this fish has any more than like 5 hit points.
And I'm gonna
Can you
take it out and pass my turn, unfortunately.
Dolrak, it's your turn. Luckily, you got to your turn before anything attacked you.
Yeah, really.
Okay, so I had to use.
Half of your movement. Your movement is 20, so half of it is 10. You use 10 feet to get up.
But if I move, I say I don't really move when I get up, so I can look at
Yes.
10 feet left.
In previous editions of Dungeons and Dragons, you take opportunity attacks when you stand up from prone, and it was a nightmare. But in 5th edition, you can stand up all you want. You're fine.
Okay.
So
I
you
stood
take
up.
10 feet and you stand up. Now you're standing again. You should not have 2 auras on you, so I'm gonna take one off. See, you guys gotta manage your auras.
Well, he's got 2 auras of his own,
I
right?
have my
No, he had your aura and his aura.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I am going to. I can't do a melee attack on the fish.
Not the fish, but you have 3 gremlins in front of
Yeah.
you. You can melee attack the fish. You have to go walk over to the fish. If you walk over to the fish, you might
That's
have
an
to
attack
get an
of
opportunity. Probably for just 1 from that bilge gremlin.
Okay, I am going to build gremlin number 1. I'm going to attack.
Go ahead.
If I can find my thing.
You have remember.
I got.
Remember,
targeting.
make sure your targeting is correct, because if you roll right now, you're going to be hitting both the lionfish and the.
Yeah, right. So I need to control that all. Control that all.
There we go. You're getting the hang of it. I'm telling you, after 3-4 sessions, this is just automatic. Right now, it kind of. You do hit this build gremlin with your axe.
Okay, so now I'm gonna take my damage. Ooh.
8 points of damage on the build gremlin with your axe.
Okay, I'm gonna do my extra attack.
That is additional 12 points of damage on the build gremlin. But these monsters are tough. You kind of realize in horror what you really got yourself into. Monsters are taking a lot to take down, and you guys are seasoned warriors. You realize you walked into a pretty tough fight at this point. Taifa, or is there anything else you want to do on your turn, such as...
I don't really see anything I can do.
Okay, I always ask before I skip the, move the turn along. Taifa, it's your turn. Taifa, I would remind you can take a look at all the abilities your character has. She's a war cleric. She has powerful spells like a Crusader's Mantle. She has channeled divinities that can really help you out. And she in her own right is a pretty powerful fighter.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
1 minute timer to
Am I in base like range of this
Gremlin.
build gremlin number 1?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So in that case,
I have a 1 minute decisional timer for you.
you know what I'm gonna do?
Everybody see the timer? It's on the bottom of the combat tracker. I'm sorry, I'm wasting your time. Go ahead.
I do see it, yeah.
I would have seen that earlier.
I'm gonna target this guy. Oh shoot! I hit the wrong button. There we go. Target this guy, and then I'm gonna.
You probably need to just say what you're going to do and then do it
Okay.
before the
15.
time runs out.
15 seconds.
I'm gonna cast Shocking Grasp on him.
Okay, go ahead. You do hit him with Shocking Grasp because you're casting electricity in the middle of water. Shocking Grasp is not a major spell, so it's not gonna. It's not like lightning bolt. So because of that, you do attack this gremlin. You cast Shocking Grasp, and you hit it, and you do 8 points of damage. But because you're casting electricity in water, I need you to roll Shocking Grasp against everyone adjacent to this gremlin, including yourself.
Alright.
Paladin?
This is a racial. He has a racial character.
No, I mean, is that what class?
Alright, so I have to attack Dolrak and myself.
Shocking Grasp is not a class paladin feature. It's part of him being a racial elf. You get a free cantrip.
Alright, do I roll an attack for me and Dolrak as well?
No. You also Bilge Gremlin 3 and Bilge Gremlin 2. They all get attacked with Shocking Grasp.
Oh, so I roll attacks for them as well.
Yes.
Alright.
Because you cast the electricity in water, it is conducted. Because of the spell of this electric spell, it's only a level 1 spell. It only goes that far. If you cast a lightning bolt, you're going to cause some problems all over the place.
Alright, but what about myself and Dolrak?
You're also adjacent. And then there's also Bilge Gremlin number 3. Don't forget about him.
Alright, so I roll attacks for all of them.
For
And
all,
one.
No,
Attacks?
you already attacked one.
Okay, do I roll damage for all of us?
It depends on whether the attack succeeds, so you roll attacks.
Alright. I crit somebody.
You crit yourself.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
Okay,
I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
so well, you should have thought about that before you. I'm just being realistic. I didn't tell you this, but
That's fine. Alright, well,
I think the only person that you actually hit, because I don't think you hit Dolrak.
Yeah, you missed me.
The only person that you hit is yourself, so you have to roll critical damage against yourself. You have to click critical and then roll the damage against yourself. As you realize, you probably shouldn't be casting electricity in water.
Where's the critical button?
You can see on the bottom with a modifier, advantage, disadvantage,
Underneath
+2.
opportunity.
Yes, underneath opportunity. You click that button and then roll damage against yourself.
Critical. And roll damage.
Not automatically since he... Apparently not.
That was very unpleasant. Yes, that was very unpleasant.
Well, I rolled on the Warren Gremlin as well, but whatever. No, whatever. Alright, so I'll end my turn.
Alright, we're back up to lionfish number 2. The lionfish number 2 is, it's not going to try to headbutt, it's almost dead. It is going to try to run away, it disengages you. It uses a disengage action and begins to swim away, trying to run. Because it's disengaging, nobody gets to take opportunity attacks against it. It gets 60 feet of swim, much faster than it. So it's going to move over here.
Sword.
Over here.
He can move right through the sword.
Yes, he's disengaging.
Okay.
It's running away. These creatures are animals, beasts, and they act in self-preservation when they're about to die.
Makes sense, yes.
That's the lionfish's turn. There is yet another bilge gremlin that shows up. This is a gremlin with form-fitting shorts. And this gremlin comes out right smack dab in the middle of all the lionfish. He sees the lionfish and he engages it. He's going to be attacking lionfish, and this actually prevents the lionfish from leaving. These gremlins look hungrily because the lionfishes were kind of tasty. Go, and it's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to cast, well, let me move a little bit first. How much do I get? 20?
You get 20 feet of movement.
Alright. I'm going to move toward the line.
That's not you, that's the other player.
I was just exercising him. About right there, be about right, and then I'm going to cast Prayer of Healing.
If you move one closer, you'll be in my...
I can't, I only got 20 feet of movement. I think that's the end of my movement.
Oh, okay.
That is the end of my movement.
My bad.
So I'm going to cast...
I'm sorry, you can't cast Prayer of Healing in combat because if you read the description of Prayer of Healing, it is a spell that takes
I'd say 10 minutes.
10 minutes to cast. It's not meant for combat. Otherwise, it's way too powerful for healing. It's something that you can cast afterwards that if you guys survive.
Well, I didn't realize that.
You can cast Zone of Truth and force the lionfish to speak the truth. Not that it speaks.
Not that I could understand it. How about it when I cast Aid? I'll cast Aid on all 3 of my compatriots then.
Sounds good.
Can I upcast that? No, I can't anyway. I only got second level spells.
You have to use a higher level spell slot.
Yeah, but I don't have a higher level spell slot.
In that case, you can't.
Right. So I just need to control.
I'm going
Target my buddies, right?
Yes. No, actually, don't use that script. That script is not working very well. Who are you casting it on? That script says max HP 5. That's going to mess up your character sheet. Who are you casting it on?
I'm casting it. I cast it on 3 characters, so I'm casting it on Dolrak and all 3 of them, Clayton and Tafia.
Okay, I'm going to add temporary hit points.
Okay.
What are you attack?
Huh?
Which spell are you using?
Aid.
Aid. Okay.
Dolrak, Clayton, and Tafia. Does aid have a verbal component? Yes, it does.
Yes.
Give me a D10. You don't want to roll a 1. Luck be a lady tonight.
Luck be a lady. There we go.
Yes, it's only a 10% chance of failure, so you're okay.
And I need to let's see. How did you say to take them targets off? Okay.
The easiest way is if you see on the map itself, on the
I
very
just
top.
did that.
Bar. Yeah, that's the easiest way as a player.
I never knew that until you told me.
Yeah, as a DM, I have other buttons, but unfortunately, they don't give you those buttons as players.
Right. So
I always attack people with like drag the dice for you.
You can do that. You can attack them without targeting, of course.
And I find that so much easier.
I
But-
knew that too, but if there was 3 targets, that's the reason.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's hard to apply effects if you're not targeting, or if you're casting a spell that has multiple creatures that's better to target.
I guess since I can I take a dash? That's an action though, isn't it?
Dash is an action.
So I can't really do anything else from here because I've taken
What
up.
about Misty Step?
I don't have Misty Step.
You don't
but
have
that's it.
Okay.
And that's the end of my turn.
Okay.
Just help my buddies out a little bit as much as I can.
Tafi, it's your turn.
Wait, no, it's the Bilge Gremlin 3's turn.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not paying attention. Bilge Gremlin number 3 turns around. Is anybody here using any mechanical weapons, such as a crossbow?
No.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
So Bilge Gremlin number 3 doesn't have any weapons. He kind of searches around. He sees a stick on the ground. He picks up the stick and starts trying to poke you with the stick.
I poke your eye out.
He smacks against your armor and doesn't penetrate your armor, and he stomps his foot. Bilge Gremlin number 1 looks around for some sort of weapon. He finds the leg of a chair. He picks it up and swings it at you. He also misses. Bilge Gremlin number 2 looks at this lionfish number 2 that looks really badly injured, and he licks his lip. He's very hungry. He's gonna walk over and start and try to bite that lionfish. He misses. The lionfish dodges. Lionfish number 1 rolls a recharge. This guy has been rolling like 10 for 10 on recharges. Oh my goodness, he recharges again.
My goodness.
Uh-oh.
So what the lionfish is going to do is he's going to try to fire a stream that's going to get the most things possible. So I'm going to do a little calculation. If I fire it straight across, that's 3. If I fire it like here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. But a lionfish will not attack another lionfish, so he's not going to fire it that way. If I fire it like this, that's 1, 2, 3, 1.
It's almost the fourth.
It's a 5
Gremlin
foot.
one.
It's a 5 foot wide thing, so it's going to hit all of you.
Oh,
So this is
yeah.
what the lionfish is going to do. He has gotten very lucky. That's why you guys are so beat up. He is going to forceful spit, and it's gonna be Gremlin 3, Gremlin 1, Dolrak, Typhia, and go.
I'm with protection on Typhia.
Okay, everybody, get your auras straight.
He gets an aura too from me.
Does everybody have their
I think
auras?
it's the only one. No, does Dolrak's close enough to get mine protection too, isn't he?
I don't want to be mean. If I wanted to be mean, I would include Clayton too. But the lionfish can't have that can't calculate that to that well. So he doesn't hit Clayton.
Or protection from me. No, that's
So-
Clayton. I need Typhia.
All 3 of you should have 2.
Yeah, we're good.
You're good. Okay, I'm gonna
It's
roll.
with me.
I can't get Gary.
Yeah, you am. We're 10 feet apart.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
you guys
I'm
are
sitting right beside Typhia.
exactly. You guys are right next to each other. So your auras are in line.
Plus, Typhia should have. I mean, the fish should have disadvantage against Typhia too, with my protection.
Does everybody have their auras?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to roll the save for Forceful Spit DC Dex 14. Okay, we have, a little scattered. Some saves, some failures. Gone, you fail. Tafia, you fail, despite your powerful auras.
But she got disadvantage.
Why does she have disadvantage?
Because of my protection thing. What's the same thing I did with
What are you talking about? You should read that protection thing again. It doesn't apply.
Melee.
It does not apply to a saving throw to an effect or spell. It only applies to a melee attack.
Well, is that considered a spell?
This is considered an innate ability. It does not do spell damage.
It's like a water gun.
And it's not melee. Certainly not melee.
Well, I just thought I had to be within melee range.
You need to read that the protection ability again, and how it works. I know because I'm very familiar with it. We don't have time to go over again. The protection only applies to a melee attack, and when you have a shield. That's as far as I know, unless I'm wrong. If you read it and I'm wrong, let me know.
I'm trying to find it on my sheet.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and roll. See, this is why I knew this was gonna happen. So this is why we gotta. I'm doing things the way we're doing it. We gotta learn this because when we get into the adventure, this is gonna be every session. We're gonna have a lot of complicated combat. So we gotta get familiar with what we're doing, or else we'll never finish the adventure. I'm going to roll damage. Some of you are getting full damage. Some of you successfully save by getting half damage. He frankly kills one of the gremlins. Okay, Bilge Gremlin's turn. This gremlin is looking at lionfish number 2, and he's interested. He's very hungry. He's gonna bite lionfish number 2. The gremlin critically hits lionfish number 2. He kills lionfish number 2, jumps on it, and begins munching down, voraciously ripping its flesh and urine. Clayton, you're up.
Imagine that. I got a crit.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
Is throwing one of my beads considered an attack?
It's considered an action.
Is it considered an attack?
It's not considered a attack in terms of using your weapon to attack. It's considered an action. So if you use your action, you might not be able to attack at all because the bonus attack and bonus action stuff requires that you first use an action to attack. So,
yeah, that's why I wanted to confirm.
So no, it is not a melee attack like when you're punching. It is like an attack as if you were casting a spell kind of thing.
Okay, this is what protection. It's my fighting style. It says when a creature you can see attacks a target other than yourself within 5 feet, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll. You must be
Great. That was not an attack roll. That was a saving throw. He did not roll an attack.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a saving throw. This is an ability. It's think of it like a spell. Think of it like a lightning bolt. That's what this thing is.
Is that?
Yes. Yeah. The difference is protection comes into play if he makes an attack roll, sort of like if he has a sword and he swings a sword. So that's why it doesn't apply.
I mean, some spells use attack rolls too, but
yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah, if it were a spell that used an attack roll,
now.
That's why.
But I think you let me do it on
No, on the other one, he was using an attack. He used bite.
I did. That's right.
Yeah,
okay, that's where I was confused. Okay.
All right.
I tried.
Clayton, finish your turn.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4,
gremlin's too tricksy for you. He fainted. You roll up a nat 1, the gremlin does a little ballerina twirl and starts laughing at you, pointing.
I have changed my dice 4 times. And then, because those were attacks, I'm going to use flurry of blows, get 1 of my key points.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are getting unlucky with your rolls tonight. I mean, what can I say? That fish rolled a recharge like 4 times in a row.
Which, more attacks.
I think Tifa's down. Typhia's down.
Yep, I know. I'm using one of my attacks to hit the guy. This time, I'm gonna damage him. And then use the second attack of the flurry of blows to do some healing to Typhi.
Okay.
Get her back up in action.
Yes, you have that heal fist.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like a 7-point.
The healing hand.
Yeah,
the healing.
It's just this weirdness because the expansions have been pretty much very similar. So you have a monk that heals. You have paladins that cast fireball and all that stuff.
So basically, I punch her and tell her, "Wake up, you dingus, and get back in the action." And then I will.
Dolrak, it's your turn.
Is it an action if I give that Tafia a potion of healing?
Not only is it an action, it is a full round action.
It's a full round action if you're trying to force it into her. She's already alive.
If you want to just hand her a potion, you can do it for free.
Yeah.
That doesn't cost you anything. If you want to just hand her,
And then,
no problem.
does she have any healing potions?
She's a cleric. She has healing spells.
Okay.
She is a healing potion.
So then she can heal herself on her turn.
Yes.
Okay. So we're good.
When she gets attacked for her. Well, and then she comes right
No,
out.
because she goes next.
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to attack Gremlin Bilge 3. Dun dun dun. And then I'll use my extra attack on the same one.
You end its miserable existence.
Okay. And I will pass my turn.
All right, Tafia. You suffered a blistering blow, went unconscious for a while until your ally came and applied some healing.
Alright, well in that case, I am going to use half my move to get up.
You're up.
And then I'm going to cast... Being that I need health, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself, upcast to 3rd level. And there's a quick way to go about this.
You can target yourself and then just cast this one.
Alright. I'm targeting this guy. I'm only targeting myself, and I just hit the heal button, or is there a special way to do it?
You can just hit that heal button, I think.
Just do it 3 times.
No, it's let me see. You know, if you do it 3 times, it doesn't give you the correct heal.
No, it doesn't.
So you'd probably have to change the script of it. If you press, you see that hourglass. You know what? Just do it to yourself, and then because we're out of time, so just heal yourself with a level 1, and then roll an additional 2d8 and change your hit points. Because we're running, we're kind of over time right now. Okay, and then roll an additional 2d8 and heal yourself next. So heal yourself an additional 9 points. That should bring you to 28. 28 wounds, that is.
Yeah. Alright, and then that's good. And then to play it safe, I'll end my turn.
We're up at... actually, this gremlin is out of the equation. We're up at go.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah.
Yep.
You have 2 gremlins left, and then you have that lionfish.
Yeah, which...
The lionfish that has been...
lionfish.
has jet streamed you like 4 times already. You can get to the lionfish because you can move through allies. What you do is you just kind of tap them, have them move aside, and you move through.
Okay, well... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try to attack the lionfish. See if I get there. That worked, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and swing my hammer at this lionfish. Although I'm feeling kind of weak, losing some blood.
That's a hit.
So once again, I'm going to use a double proportion of Divine Smite on this sucker.
Give him a double dose of Divine Smite.
Huh?
Double dose.
A double dose of Divine Smite. Wham!
26 points of damage. Very nice. You guys are doing great in terms of damage, but these creatures have a lot of hit points.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I'm going to take my second shot at him.
You're still saying shot. You're no longer wielding a bow.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a second is a hit. Another 7 points of damage.
Okay, and that's actually I don't have any bonus. Anything I can really do, so I'm going to stand here and take punishment probably.
Alright, it is the bilge gremlin's turn. This bilge gremlin, now, the bilge gremlin's priority is food. The fact that there's another lionfish that just got killed and its meat is floating around, this bilge gremlin is going to run over and chew on that other lionfish. Now, as it runs, it's going to disengage you. He doesn't want to battle. He gets over there, and both of the bilge gremlins stop. They don't even care about you anymore. They just start munching away. They are greedily obsessed with meat. So once they get meat, they consume their very fiber, their very being. They can do nothing but eat. Lionfish, however, he's going to roll another recharge. Let's see if he. Oh my goodness! I'm so sorry, guys. This lionfish has been rolling he's rolling like if he went to Vegas, he'd be rich. He's going to get all of you.
Oh gosh.
Do we have appropriate auras on? Everybody's got everybody.
I do not have.
Okay, everybody should have both auras.
Orlexo.
Yeah.
We checked it. Ready to roll?
Yep.
Okay, dexterity saving throw DC 14. Everybody succeeds except for poor Technia. Just even with 2 auras, she rolled a nat 6, and that brought her up to a 10. She fails, but everybody takes the same amount of damage. However, that's not true because Clayton takes no damage because of his evasion. That wasn't a bad roll. That was a very low roll.
I'm still alive.
That's a very low roll. That's only 13 points of damage, and half of that would be 6 points of damage. So that wasn't bad. The 2 gremlins are obsessed with munching down on the lionfish meat. They don't care about you at all. Clayton, you're up.
I'm up here and going to the monster.
He rolled a 19.
Hey. Psycho attack.
And a miss. Oh, goodness.
You guys are just, you're very unlucky tonight. I have to say, you guys have been getting very unlucky rolls, and this fish has been getting a recharge every turn.
Yeah, the other fish hardly missed most of its recharges.
Can I use 2 key points on an attack? And can I use 2 key points, or can I only use 1? Can I do a flurry of blows for bonus action?
I don't know. The rule might be that you can only do one of those. I don't actually know. If they don't specify, then you can. Because I've seen, because I played with monks before, and I've seen them walk into the battlefield, stun lock like every enemy in the battlefield, and then run away. So I think that I don't think there's any rule against doing that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not reading anything that I can, but
you can attempt another stunning strike.
No, I'm doing a flurry.
Okay.
So, yeah, that'll be key point down, and flurry blows means 2 attack.
So you see him doing his martial arts in the water.
I'm just like kicking and punching and everything. And just a flurry, I'm getting angrier and angrier as this goes on, as the fight goes on. Gosh. And that will be the end of my turn.
How much damage did you actually do to him that turn?
Oh, several, a lot of damage. He does a lot of attacks that do a medium amount of damage, but you add them up, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I know. I was looking. That's what I was thinking.
That's how monks work, because they're attacking with their fists.
Good turn.
Alrighty. So I get, well, that 15 feet. Or no, that'd be 10 feet. And I am going to...
21 points of damage toward.
Get us some lunch.
Oops. I don't want to attack myself. How do I get rid of that 5? There we go. Okay, so now I am going to roll my hit. He is targeted, right? Yeah. Come on, it's gonna crit.
That's a hit.
And then now I'm going to roll my damage.
Get him, bro.
14 points of damage.
I'm gonna use my extra hit.
That's another hit.
And
Close to
now
a crit, but not quite.
Now I'm going to use Divine Smite 3.
You know how to do that, right? Apply that to yourself before you roll damage. There you go.
Yep.
You got it. 4d8 radiant, extra radiant damage. Can this fish survive your divine wrath? You chop the fish in half.
Thank God.
All right. At this point, combat ends because these 2 gremlins, they stop attacking you. They are sitting there obsessively gnawing at the dead lionfish, and they just keep eating it. They act as if you're not even there. Now, unless if you ignore them, they're just going to ignore you.
I'm not messing with them.
Yeah, they're fine.
They leave us alone, I'll leave them alone.
All right. So, unfortunately, that is time. So we're gonna have to end tonight's session here because we're way over time. We're already 11:30. But then again, we also started very late.